in Machakos University. And if lying, Majina can confirm this. Majina, just stand and wave. Majina, unajua wewe ni 2 in 1. Tunakushukuru tu venye uko. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali. So I was saying, I want to introduce the young woman I met around 10 years ago. She was a naive girl that couldn't even mention her name. And I remember when we could go to forums, she could hold my hand, pull me at the back and tell me, nitambulishe tu, waambie Mary Mutula ako hapa. And today, we are celebrating her for a very great achievement. Let's appreciate Mary Mutula. Allow me to read to you who she is, so that you get to know who are behind Tuboreshe Pamoja, who are the hosts of this amazing summit. And by the way, do you love the setup? Do you love the setup? Yes, haikai ni kama umefurahia. Do you love the setup? Thank you. Now, Mary Mutula is a global peace ambassador. Global. I want you to underline the word global. Peace ambassador. She is a Youth Connect Africa Fellow. She is the director at Tuboreshe Pamoja. She is the Miss President Machakos County, a strategic, passionate, and resilient leader. She is an enthusiast in advocating for meaningful youth and women engagement, with a key focus on leadership, governance, sexual reproductive health and rights, and livelihoods. She has specialized in youth training and mentorship, linkages to information, financial and business startup acceleration that facilitates public participation in the budget process at the county level. She's also a committee member in the Machakos CSO network and an occasional facilitator in the Peace Building Youth Leadership Innovation Entrepreneurship Mentoring Program with the Strategic Initiatives, Executive Office of the President, Kenya. Mary has received an award as a Social Accountability Champion from Voluntary Services Overseas, VSO, founded by UK Aid. Mary is also the Machakos University Alumni Association chairperson. At the age she is, at barely 30-something or 20-something, she is the alumni chair, Machakos University. I think she deserves a clap for that. And recently, just recently, Mary was initiated into the panel of experts in Kenya. And this is a young woman that 8 years ago, she couldn't mention her name before people. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to welcome Mary with a hearty clap as she comes to give us the speech. Karibu sana. As Mary takes the microphone, I'm informed KCA 265N and KCX 503R kindly mume obstruct some other cars from getting in and going out. So kindly just go and park your cars in a better position. Karibu sana, Mary.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. Good morning. You know, it's such an honor, and thank you very much, Edward, for the amazing introduction. It's true. 8 years ago, nilikuwa nasema, suseme niko hapa. 10 years I am. I'm speechless. Thank you, Machakos. Ebu kwanza ujipati hivi. Tuboreshe pamoja. We are keen in community-driven systems for change, where as an organization, we just act as a catalyst to the work that is already happening in the community. So we are not inventing the wheel, but rather asking the groups, that is the youth groups, women groups, and even individuals where they want to be and how we can support them work. So today we are here because of our Uongozi program, which is leadership and governance. And we are very intentional as an organization on how we can have women taking up leadership for themselves first, leadership that is going to impact the community positively, leadership that is going to impact Kenya, so that tusiseme to our leaders, amjafanya hii, amjafanya ile, but the question is, as a young woman, as a young man, what is it that you're doing for your country? So today, I may not have so much to say, but I'm really looking at the stakeholders that are here. How do we hold our hands even after the post-summit so that we can partner together? We talk about and practical examples of how we can work on women enterprise, women mental health, sexual reproductive health and rights, climate action, because again, just a request as we proceed, this place is a very clean place. Thank you, Waziri. Are you going to litter around? And if we had a group of young people like us somewhere else and they litter that place, what is going to really happen to our environment? Right now we are talking about floods. As young people, what role are we taking up to support our government in saving lives? And today in this summit, I'm just curious to understand and get to know you better. And even as a young people, I look forward to hearing you asking questions to the duty bearers. How can we improve Machakos to be the place to be? Because our governor is very intentional with women empowerment. How can we support our ministers, the governor, to achieve women empowerment in Machakos? And to our partners, Machakos University, Shofco, the rest, I'm not going to call all of you because we'll have a slot to speak about what you're doing and how you can partner with Tuboreshe to make Machakos the place to be. Really, what is the role of each one of us so that we can achieve everything that we've ever thought about? As I sit down, I always say this, the sky is the limit. Yeah? But then again, the sky is for everyone. Fly the highest you can. Thank you very much. I would also like to give a special shout out. Somebody flew from Germany to come and surprise me. I think he's somewhere trying samosas from Machakos, Titot. So when he comes, I will just give him an opportunity because there's something they have for Tuboreshe. Thank you very much. I'm back to you, Nkorote.
Andwa Masako. Mwiwata. Nimesema vizuri? Najaribu, nataka nikitoka hapa mkwe mmenipatia jina ya Kikamba. Unajua mimi ni Meru, so ukikuja kwetu nitakupatia jina ya Kimeru. Si ndio? This lady amefanya to see such things when women come together na tuna support each other. Lakini what si Sunday kuna Mother's Day. Ni Sunday ama Saturday? Ni Sunday ama Saturday. So kuna Mother's Day, Women's Day, Girl Child Day. Wanauliza sasa sisi boy child hana mtu wake. Lakini nawaambia unaona vile tunawavutanga mahali tunaenda, mnapaswa kusoma. You learn from us. Mnaenda mnashikana na mkituita, si tutakuja. Si mtaenda kuwa support. Si ndio? So waziri ukikusanya boy child, ambia Mary nataka Nkirote. Nitakuja. Sawa? We have a lot of people in the house na ningetaka Dek wakuja watuambie what they are offering. Before we have opening remarks kutoka kwa waziri. Yeah? Okay.
I think DEC is somewhere trying to organize some things. So we have partnered with Deaf Empowerment Kenya. Pale ukiangalia hinje, pale kuna tent, kuna kanyumba kako pale. Tunakaita Youth Drop-in Center. So what is happening there, we are going to be doing breast cancer examination for free. Cervical cancer screening is free. If you want to know your HIV status, of course, it's always free. If you also need a professional, maybe kuna kitu inakusumbua when you talk about mental health, no umekosa mtu mwenye unaweza muongelesha, I have cards for the coordinator who is a psychologist. You don't have to do it today. I'll be happy to give you the card so that you can arrange with them, wakuje, waongeleshe. Is that okay? So please let us feel free. Just walk. People don't have to know what you're going to do there. But it's very good for us women tuko tunajua hali ya health yetu. Ni sawa sawa? Yeah, because Dek could be busy setting up. Please feel free. Always go there. And then again, maybe before I sit down, hapa hinje, ukitoka kwa hii tent, pale chini kuna toilets. Sawa sawa? Tusikue pia tumewaleta na mjui what those nice things are. Thank you.
Haya. Tunaendelea vizuri. Huyu ndiye wa kizungu sana. Mimi na represent watu mayut. Hata mnitiki? Mko sawa? Gota mwenzako. Mimi niko hapo. Yes. We will now have Bwana Waziri tupatie your remarks. Karibu sana.
Hello, mnanisikia? All right, good morning, she's. Yes, I like that. And the he's in the house. Mko salama? Ebu msalimie the he's also. We are together in this thing. Asanteni sana. All right, kwa majina vile mmeelezewa, my name is John Kilonzo. Mimi ndio waziri wa Gender, Youth, Sports, Social Welfare, Special Programs, and Digital Economy. Let me first begin by giving you the greetings from the governor of this great county of Machakos, Excellency Wavinya Ndeti. Amewasalimia sana. And I want to see and confirm that you have received the greetings. So hebu nione salamu za governor wetu kwa hewa. Thank you. Asanteni sana. So before I make a few remarks, I really want to introduce some she's for she's who are here. Ndio mjue kweli leo ni a she day. I want to call Waziri here kindly. I want to call my chief officer and Mheshimiwa. Please come. All right, thank you very much. Karibuni kujeni. Today being a she day, I want to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself and what you do, but we shall engage later as the program continues. Allow me to go in order of age. I'll begin with Mom here. Mom, please come over.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Mungu ni mwema. Na kila wakati. Kwa majina naitwa Helen Ndeti. Mi ni member of County Assembly for Machakos. And I happen to be also the chair of the Women Caucus for the county. And I'm happy to be with you today. I look forward to a lot of interactions and learning from each one of us. Thank you.
Age ends there. I'll now follow a different protocol. I'll call Waziri. Waziri, please.
Thank you. I think I'm the shortest among the three of us. Good morning, all. Good morning again. God is good. And all the time. Very well. Like Waziri has said, I'm Dr. Consolata Mutisia. I'm the minister in charge of the docket of education. Education, we have ECD, wale watoto wadogo, we have vocational training, and we have skills development here in Machakos. I'm happy to be here. I've never been next to so many young people like this. I've been a university professor for the last 20-something years. That's the time I used to meet your age. But now I'm here in Machakos, training and trying to make sure that our girls and our boys become empowered like me. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Waziri. Let me invite Katibu.
Good morning, everyone. God is good and all the time. Wow. Yes, my name is Bernadette Wavinya Chanya, Katibu, Gender, Sports, Youth, uko, Social Welfare. Sawa sawa. My office is that little room there. So when you are here, you are in my domain. What is the main message for today? All the she's, including the one who was given the age, whatever, was once a young she. She was once somebody behind saying, Ebu semeni mimi niko hapa. But she found her voice. And all the she's here, some have found their voices, others are still finding their voices, and others are finding their spaces in this big universe. My message for today: look for your space, fight for it, shove, kick, knock doors, and find your space. Because if you don't, nobody will do it for you. So as I am here in this department, talking about gender and social welfare, mine is to ensure that in all spaces, we have equal chances for the woman, for the girl child, for the boy child, right? Because when we are talking about equality, society just doesn't know women, it also knows men. We all belong here. And because we all belong here, each of us must find our own space. We do have programs for the young children, for the young girls. We work for OVCs, we work for widows, and all women in different challenging situations. So when you come across those people in the community, kindly knock at our doors. We have staff who can do it. We may not have the resources because they are never enough, but we do have partners. Mary is there. I've worked with Mary to people's homes who are really disadvantaged. We've done a great job. And I've worked with Shofco at the background, and we are moving longer and further. Sawa sawa. So come along. If you are an NGO or CBO who is doing something in the community, we will partner and work together. Thank you very much. Looking forward for a great day today as we link up and share. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Katibu. I guess by the virtue of your office, you have a bit of latitude to speak a bit more, and thank you very much for that. So let me begin again by welcoming all of you to the Youth Center here in Machakos, and begin by thanking Mary very much. And Edward. Where's Edward? Yes. When I came here as a Waziri, I met Mary, I met Edward later, I met YSD and DEC. And I was very impressed by the initiatives that they were taking to do various things. They came to my office a couple of times. We had conversations. I asked very difficult questions. Edward came one time and he looked very frustrated. I told him, don't worry, stay the course. It's going to get better. Eventually, I came for the launch of your Tuboreshe Pamoja. I was here with His Excellency the DG. And I remembered saying that I don't think I would have gotten a better name than Tuboreshe Pamoja. It is superb. it captures everything we want to do in society. But today it's about the she's, so we'll need to be more specific with the she's. And just for your information, Machakos County is a she county. Oh my. you know, everywhere I go, I never hear the end of that. But that's fine. It is what it is, and we love it. Our governor is a she. Woman rep naturally is a she. Our senator is a she. The speaker of the assembly is a she. The county commissioner is a she. Vice chancellor is a she. So she nyinyi ndio mko. And that is excellent. Let's clap for Machakos County. I think we have led from the front insofar as that is concerned. However, let me mention a few things that the county is doing under the leadership of Our Excellency to make sure we are able to onboard people in society, and in particular, the she's very well. Number one, you do know that we have a gender policy, and really legislation is where you begin. When you want to onboard everybody in society, in development, in everything you do, you must first begin with legislation, because it gives you the standing on which to do the various things you want to do. So number one, we have a gender policy. We are now working on a gender mainstreaming policy, but the actions of Machakos County are way ahead of the policy, because in terms of employment, I think we are at 51% she's and 49% his. So the she's are more, which means we have complied in a very good manner. So makofi kwanza for Machakos County for that. Moving on, in terms of the youth and where you want to go, we have the Machakos Youth Act. We are now doing some amendments, and we are doing the regulations. The reason for this is because, and I'm glad the lawmakers are here with us, is that we want to activate and fasten various programs to empower our youth, the she included. Soon we'll be launching Machakos Youth Service in partnership with Ministry of Education, Waziri Consolata here, where we'll be enrolling 1,000 youth in our cohorts. We'll be doing that twice in a year, that's 2,000, and it's a 50-50 enrollment, she's and his. During the training, we will train practical skills to everybody. We have hairdressing, we have catering, we have beauty, we have masonry, we have electrical, and there's no discrimination. A she can pick whatever course they want to be trained in, and we are looking at empowering them by the time they finish the Machakos Youth Training to be able to get some seed capital to go and begin their operations. We are also working on linkages with Waziri here on how to transition them to various opportunities of employment within Machakos County and beyond. So there's a lot of things happening. Number two, we have funds that have been set aside. Some are affirmative funds, and we've got two particular funds that I want you to think about as you live today and as you engage. We have a Wekwatio fund. It's an empowerment fund. And Wekwatio is open to everybody, the she's and the his. So the question is, who has a better value proposition and who gets there earlier? So she's, mjipange mfike kabla ya his. His nitawana nyuma tent, pia sisi tujipange tusiachwe nyuma sana. So that is ongoing. We're just finalizing the regulations. They are the assembly. I think they should be ready in the next 2 weeks. They will now give us the opportunity to now roll out those funds. And the funds must be used before the end of June. So you have an opportunity in the next 2 months to dive into the Wekwatio Fund. We also have two other funds, and one of them is the Women Revolving Fund. It has been ring-fenced specifically for women. So Mary and your team, as you discussed today, you must figure out how to plug into that fund. It is specifically for women. Again, also the regulations at the assembly. It should be ready in the next 2 weeks. We also need to roll out those funds before the end of June. We have another fund again, revolving for PWDs. So, and I think I've seen a few of them here. We're normally together in very many events. So the fund will be available also, again, for his and she's. She's, make sure you leave the starting block faster to absorb, so we're able, to work together. allow me also to speak about what the governor is doing in the space of digital economy in Machakos County. And my youth, this one is very, very crucial for you because the game has gone online. How many are on IG here and TikTok? Only. Okay, the digital space today allows us an opportunity to be able to earn a living. And we must think about digital in everything we do. For those of you who are scholars, there's a book I want you to go and read. It's called The World is Flat by Thomas Friedman. In his book, he talks about the 10th flattener of the world, which he calls virtual, personal, and mobile. By that he says, and please take this very seriously, the youth, that where you're seated, so long as you have your personal phone and you can move around with it, your mobile with it, and you can connect virtually, you have the same opportunities as somebody seated in New York Stock Exchange, for example. You can go online, you can trade your forex, your indices, your futures, your options, you name it. So today we are blessed because we can plug in very easily. And I like giving an example. I'm also into sports a lot. A sitting director at Kenya Rugby Union. One of our former Kenya Sevens players is very big on IG. He's called the Roman Chef. And he's making a lot of money. All he does is to cook and broadcast his cooking. And he has some very good following. And now sponsors and partners are looking for him. Kenchik wants him, so-and-so wants him, and they're paying him for all these things. So youth, you have a lot of opportunities. My grandmother and my mother back in Shags would never have seen these opportunities. So the time is good for you, so please make sure you plug into it. In line with that, what the county government is doing is this. Number one, at the youth center here, we have a lab where we teach computers. I got a list of 200 people we have taught since January, and by the way, we do it for free. We do just basic computer packages. You can enroll, you come, you're trained, it is free, and then from there you proceed to other things. We are also establishing youth digital hubs. We have partners from out who want to work with us, and in the youth digital hubs, they'll be available. We'll begin with Mavoko, and then later in the other parts of the sub-counties, where the youth can come in and spend your day there, honing your skills. We'll also be doing some training from next week, by the way, on the 18th, I believe. The governor will be launching. We have funds for training the youth on digital issues. We have chosen 400 youth initially, but we'll train the rest. And we'll be training on various digital skills like programming, coding, digital content, management, and all those things. Again, it is free. We will train the youth. And every year, we'll continue doing that. The target is every year, eventually, we want to train at least 5,000 youth on digital economy issues, because that's where the game is. For those of you who want to do a bit of farming, there's a digital space and agribusiness. We were in Masi launching the free Wi-Fi by the national government. And I told one of the ladies there, she may not know what's happening because she hasn't gotten the grip of digital very well. But very soon, she'll begin to realize, because you are able to sell your tomatoes when they're in the farm, or your onions. You can upload the photos, and a buyer in Kisumu can see them, and you can begin a conversation. You can do a lot of selling of clothes online. You can sell shoes online. How many of you guys buy online stuff? So and I'll give you a digital economy example. So we went to Dubai, I think 3-4 weeks ago, to meet a partner of the digital space. So, and by the way, I'm a mother of she's. So that's where we are. So one of my she's told me, Dad, I really want some shoes, and you must bring them for me from Dubai. I asked her, okay, so which ones do you want? She told me, I want some Nikes. Which ones? Nike Jordans. I said, okay, fine, I'll bring for you. So I go, and unfortunately, I get very busy, and I don't get a chance to shop. I don't buy the shoes, and I come back. So when I get home, she tells me, Dad, I hope you brought what I told you. I tell her, of course I did. So thank God the following Saturday, she had some mentorship graduation classes. So I went online and just shopped for shoes from the house here. And I saw a guy in Nairobi. I've never met the person to date. But I bought the shoes, we transacted, they were delivered, packed very well, and I delivered the shoes to my daughter. Digital economy. I did not go to any shop in Dubai. And she was very happy. And today she believes, and I hope this has not been recorded, that the shoes came from Dubai. So that is the digital space. So in a nutshell, there's a lot happening in Machakos County. I want you to be able to plug in. Our office is open. And to Boreshe, we need to sit down now and find out how do we begin getting traction in all the things that you want to do. There's a lot of opportunities out there, but you must be attractive to be able to attract that sponsorship. And I'm sure those are some of the reasons why Shofco is here today. They saw that you have a story, and the story is a good story. So as you accomplish your mission, please plug in everybody else. Let the youth be players in this space. And as a county, the governor is committed to setting the infrastructure to be able to allow our youth to plug in. So happen your game, Iko. With those few remarks, you will allow me to leave because I'm rushing for a burial somewhere in Kadhiani, and I'll leave Waziri to sit in together with Katibu on the rest of the program, and I really hope I come back before you finish because I really wanted to engage with the teams today because it's a space that I'm very passionate about. But be rest assured that as a county, we are 100% committed to supporting the she, to supporting the he, and the youth in this county. And just one last example is that last year, we had the Governor's Cup, Governor Wavinya Cup, Football Cup, which ran all over the county. I think we had 640 teams playing, 16 teams from every county. The outcomes of that are very interesting. The she got more prominence than the he in the tournament. And it's a good thing. By the time we were, during the launch in Kalama, one of our girls was recruited by Police Bullets. So she's now playing for Police Bullets. By the time we were finishing the tournament, 5 of our girls were picked and now are playing for Harambee Starlets. A lot of progress. So the space for she seems to be ours here in Machakos. So let's work together and make it better. With those few remarks, I want to say asanteni sana, and one more time, karibuni sana to Machakos. Thank you.
I think we can do better. We can do better. Let's appreciate our Waziri. Waziri has spoken a lot about what this county is doing in the space of youth development and engagement. And as Tuboreshe Pamoja, we are always here. One thing you must notice is that Tuboreshe is a very vibrant and a youthful organization that is doing a lot to make sure that the community is growing. So we are looking forward to engaging with your office, and of course, Katibu, wewe ni mama yetu. Unajua baba asiposikia, unakimbianga kwa mama. Unahakikisha mama amefanya mambo yake. So mom, tutakuona nyuma ya tent as Tuboreshe so that we may be able to work together. Shofco, thank you so much for coming on board. This means a lot to us. Now, again, in the house we have a young lady who has written a letter to the young Kenyan woman. This young lady has done her first book dubbed Where is My Salt? And this book, as I mentioned, it's a letter to the young middle-class Kenyan woman. She will be releasing, she will be launching this book, I think, later on this month or maybe somewhere next month. And as a way of empowering the young girl or the young woman in the space of authors, just making sure that we introduce our young people that are creative enough to do some nice writing. We have given her a space to come and say a word and speak to the young girls in Machakos to tell us about her book. And she has a number of copies out there. So as a way also of supporting her. If you get time and you've got a few coins, you can pick a copy of the book Where Is My Salt? The lady is none other than She Gashau. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for She Gashau.
Good morning. Good morning. I am Wanjiro Gashau. That's the full name for She. I'm the author of this beautiful book, this beautiful orange book. And I'm very honored to be here today because of two reasons. First of all, because the short name of Wanjiro is Shiro. Shiro. Then Shiro is shortened to She, S-H-E-E. So the She Summit almost was calling me directly to this place. So I'm very honored to be here. Thank you so much, organizers, for having me here. The second reason is because this book is for you, the young woman from a middle-class home who was unstewarded while growing up, which means that you do not yet have your identity in place. So this book teaches the young woman how to find her identity in Christ. In Christ. And I'll tell you why it's important for each and every one of us to find our identity, the true self. Not what the world tells us we are, but who we truly are. I'll tell you why it's very important for you to buy this book. It's because the world will tell you very, very many things about who they think you should be. But only one person knows who you are supposed to be. It is God, God himself. Because he said he knew us before we were born. He's the one who placed us in our mother's wombs. And so I went through a journey myself. This book is based on partially my life, but mostly on observation, a lot of reading, a lot of research, and a lot of revelation from God. I wrote this book because I had gone through an existential crisis. I was wondering, what is this life about? You know? Because I'd been pushed this way, pulled that way, and eventually I found myself in a no man's land. So I came to a place where I needed to know who I am. And this gift I'd been playing with writing for almost 10 plus years. I'd been doing short articles here and there, posting them on social media, you know, writing short poems for people who would pay me some very small amount of money. Then God told me, give it to me. Let me show you what I can do with that gift. And within a year, he gave me this book, which is a transformational tool. If you can have it in your hands and read it seriously and understand what's in it, it will help you know who you are. It guides you through the step-by-step of coming to the feet of Christ and just learning exactly who you're supposed to be. Some of us here are gifted in different ways, yeah? You might think your talent is almost nothing, but when you give it to God, he just blows it up. I was saying the other day, God is an expander of very small things, yeah? Some of you here are artists. Some of you here are very smart with books. Some of you here are good, amazing drivers. You know, basically you're gifted in various things. So what this book is about, it's showing you how to expand that and make it concrete just to elevate you and to serve the people around you. So this book is available out here. And I hope that each and every one of you can get a copy. Just go get a copy. Come and speak to me over there. If you have any questions, I'll just explain to you how the journey was and how we got here and how this book can help you individually to transform your whole entire life. And thank you for this opportunity, Edward. I'd like to give you this book. I hope there is a library somewhere where you can put it, and anybody who cannot afford it, for now it's 1,200. You can access it through the library.
Let's appreciate her. That's Mary Mutula, the Executive Director at Tuboreshe Pamoja. Make sure you take these photos. Unaambiwaga, media never forgets. You may take that photo today, and the other time you'll be reminding yourself before the Bill Gates and other big people. And of course, before I was reading the profile, our mom here, Mam Deti, and I was just mesmerized. I think the women in the house, if you allow us someday, we will share your CV on our Facebook and other social sites so that they may know how rich you are. Not rich in terms of money, but rich in terms of the places you've been, the type of jobs you've done, the people you've interacted with. I think that can inspire a young woman that is seated here today. Ladies and gentlemen, for the next few minutes, we are going into the breakout session, the panel discussions, and we are going to have two panels. We are going to have a panel one, which is on gender inclusivity, he for she, women, mental and sexual reproductive health and rights, and a little bit of leadership. And we are also going to have a panel that is going to have discussions around climate action, enterprise development, digital economy, and again, little of leadership. Just to read to you the panelists so that we may know who will be where. In panel one will be moderated by Mary Mutula. Mary, just wave again, or you can just stand up again. Panel one is going to remain here. Okay? That panel is going to be moderated by Mary Mutula, the executive director. And these are the people who are going to be in that panel. Number one, we have the Chief Officer, Gender and Social Welfare, our mom Benedetta Wavinya. I don't know whether she's around. Oh, I'm told now the director, our dear director, Valentine, will sit in her space. So we will have Director Valentine, ambaye ni director wa Gender na Social Welfare Machakos County. And then we'll have Margaret. Ma'am, you can just wave so that they know you're here. Wanakuona kweli? That is our director wa mambo ya gender. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali. The next one that will sit in that panel is Margaret Ochieng. Sorry for that. So the next one is Margaret Ochieng, ambaye she's a gender expert from Shofco. Margaret Ochieng just met Nyarinda, who's the Regional Population Coordinator, Eastern South Region, National Council for Population and Development, NCPD. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali. In that same panel, you can imagine how rich these panels are, right? Are they rich? Good. The next panelist is Miss Mumbi. Sijui hii jina ingine inasoundiwa. That one, Mumbi, she is the head of legal affairs and council secretariat, Machakos University. A round of applause for her again. The next one is Honorable Ken Babu. I don't know whether he has come. Oh. Nairobi, and also the programs officer at Kenya Young Parliamentarians Association. Tumpigie makofi. So yeye, he sits in the same office na kina Babu Owino. You understand? Huh? That is where the Kenya Young Parliamentarians Association sit. He is the programs officer there. Mary was bringing me a name. I don't know where you've put it. In the same panel, we have Honorable Angela Munyasia, ambaye she is a former member of the County Assembly ya Machakos, and she comes from Biuni Ward. Tumpigie makofi. That is panel 1. All the panelists in panel 1 are remaining here. These are going to be your seats, and we shall guide on who exactly is remaining in this particular panel and who's going to sit in panel 2. Panel 2 is about climate action, enterprise development, digital economy, and leadership. Number 1, we have Honorable Consolata Mutisia, who is a minister in the Department of Education and also a representative of the governor, Honorable Her Excellency Wavinya Ndeti. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali. Just stand so that they may be able to see you. Asante. Thank you so much. She will be sitting in that panel. I'm sorry, I forgot to say the panel will be moderated by Nkirote, who is a strategic digital journalist and a radio presenter at Vibes Radio. The same panels, we shall have Mr. Fred Nyangwe. Fred Nyangwe is the GM or the General Manager for Gillian and Semara Hotels. Tumpigie makofi. We know Gillian and Semara Hotels. These are the top hotels in Machakos. And we are excited to learn about the hospitality industry in Machakos and how our young girls can be able to benefit from the hospitality industry. In the same panel is Hannah Madenge, who is the founder and director of Fresh Drops Water. Tunaijua. So the person behind that water is here. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali. And also, she owns a hardware called Pendo Hardware Limited. In that same panel, we have Dr. Pamela Karambu Murungi. She is the Dean of School of Education at Machakos University. Tumpigie makofi. In this panel, tuko na waziri wa education na tuko na dean in charge of education, Machakos University. It is a rich panel. I don't know whether Badili have arrived. As Mary confirms. In that panel, we have Honorable Selina Mwende Kioko. I always call her my boss. Wakati wa campaigns, alikuwa amesimama kiti ya Woman Rep Machakos. And she is here also to talk about her journey. Let's appreciate her. Those are our panelists. Mheshimiwa Ndeti. I'm trying to look at where. I think I don't have that. I'm missing a page. Honorable Ndeti, ambaye ni chair lady wa Women Caucus, Machakos County Assembly. Yani wale MCAs wote wa kike ambao wamechaguliwa Machakos County Assembly and the nominated ones. She is the chair lady. Let's appreciate her. You can just wave, ma'am. Asante. So, any person below the age of 25 years, 25 years and below, you are going to the tent over there. Okay? Any person that is 25 years and above, we are remaining here. So I want us to do that. But before we do that, I realize we have so many of us that are seated here and we have not done the digital registration that is being done by SHOFCO. We want your data so that we may know how to engage you in future. So there are representatives from SHOFCO that will come to this hall and also that will be on the other side in the tent. So ukifikiwa tafadhali na tutaweza kusaidiana sana. Without further ado, I know we've not introduced our partners. We know we have people who vied in the last, share them, and these women will give them a chance in future as we look forward to the next general elections. So there's been able to do. So kama wewe ni partner na hatuja kutaja, kindly just hold on. We have a space for you to speak immediately after lunch. Also just to remind you that courtesy of SHOFCO, we have some refreshments that are going to be given out later on during lunch break. So usishughulike na kama kuna chakula ama hakuna. We have enough for everyone. So kindly do not go out there looking for tea ama for whatever you'll be looking for. Just wait. We shall have something for you to fill in your stomach. Naomba tuweze kusimama. Wale wenye ni 25 years and below, let us go to that other hall. Tuachie hii hall wenyewe. Nkirote, you are leading the other side? Yes.
Tafadhali, if you are 25 years and above, move to the front so that we can start. Edward. 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 KDB 684S, KCB 485Q. Please go park your vehicle better so that we can have a convenient passing. Tafadhali, if you are seated at the back, songa mbele so that we can start this panel. Edward, can I have people organized here? Call protocol. If you are seated at the back, please songeni mbele tuanze.
Kindly, you can now sit. The rest of you wenye mmebaki kwa hall, just sit down. I am requesting from here, you just go back and sit now. Just go back and sit now. Please, sit down. Kindly. Kindly sit down because of time. Wale wenye mumesimama wote, sit down kindly and move to the seat in front. Hakikisha kindly settle down everyone, settle down. Settle down everyone. Settle down.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we can settle down so that we can proceed. If the seat in front of you does not have anyone, please songa mbele. Unfortunately, I think panel 2, there were so many, we don't have lots of seats. So we can give them 3 minutes. Panel 2, tafadhali muharakishe so that we can continue with this panel. Panel 2, hurry up. Panel 2, nyinyi ndio tunangojea. When we are done with the panels, maybe you can come back with your seats. Seems like we underestimated. We thought that we had brought too many seats, but we thank God. Panel 2, haraka kidogo. Okay, the rest of the people wenye mjatoka, just put your seats there, kaa tu hapo, so that we can continue. We have taken quite some time, so we have to proceed. Please leave the seats, just sit down so that we can continue. Wacha hao wengine waende kwa hiyo panel ingine. Just settle down kindly. Okay, thank you very much. So we are going to start the second panel. Mheshimiwa, if you can settle down. We are going to start the second panel. I'm going to be reading the biography of the people who are going to be sitting in the panel, so that as we also continue the discussions and to have a question for them, then we will know who you are going to direct the question to. Sawa sawa? Okay. So the first person I'm going to call to the panel discussion is Director Valentine Musyoka. I read her profile, and then when I'm done, she can come and take a seat. Valentine Musyoka is a Gender and Social Welfare Director in Machakos County Government. She is a gender specialist with a master's degree in women's studies from the Bradford University, United Kingdom. Since 1995, she has undertaken a lot of research on gender community development issues and also participated in numerous gender mainstreaming forums. Let's appreciate her as she comes to the floor. The second panelist is Margaret Ochieng, who is a gender expert at Shining Hope of Communities. In short, they call it SHOFCO. She has an honors degree in public administration and social work and is currently pursuing a master's in gender and has an experience of 10 years in the gender field. Let's appreciate her as she comes. The third panelist is Janet Nyarinda. Janet Nyarinda has 10 years experience in working as a demographer and researcher, currently working in the National Council of Population Development, that is NCPD, as a regional population coordinator in the Eastern South region. She has a vast experience in coordinating population and development issues involving research on population issues, disseminating research findings through seminars, roundtables, workshops, and conferences, policy development, implementation and updating, developing policy-oriented outputs such as advisory papers, position papers, working papers, policy briefs, among others. Experience in population programming, coordination, monitoring, evaluation, as well as undertaking advocacy and public education on matters population and development. She is a member of the International Union for Scientific Study of Population. She is passionate in working around population issues that require interventions such as ending triple threats in adolescents, reducing child and maternal deaths, harmful cultural practices to have population that can realize prosperity for Kenyan people. Ms. Nyarinda holds a master's degree in population studies and research from the University of Nairobi. She is a devout Christian. Let's appreciate her as she comes up. The next panelist is somebody, even when I chat her at 1 a.m., I don't know whether she sleeps, but maybe we have our dream so big. She inspires me, actually. The next panelist is Ms. Mumbi Mwiuri. She's an advocate of the High Court with 13 years of experience in corporate governance. She has founded 2 legal departments in public universities. She's a holder of honors degree in governance and democracy and is currently pursuing a Doctor of Laws in Governance and Democracy. She's a certified professional mediator, certified integrity assurance officer, certified internal quality auditor. She's a founder and executive director of Gilmam Light Consultancy, a firm that consults on corporate governance in Kenya, and board director, Kenya chapter of African Center for Energy and Mineral Policy. She is currently serving as the head legal affairs and council secretariat at Machakos University. Let's appreciate her as she comes to the stage. The next person that is going to come to the panel discussion is a lady that has genuinely supported Tuboreshe. And despite a busy schedule, she's always there. Sometimes we even have meetings at 8 p.m. because that is the time that she's available. But then again, because we are children and we want to learn from the best, we have to adhere. The next person is Honorable Member of Assembly, Machakos County Assembly, Honorable Ellen Deti. She's a chairwoman caucus, Machakos County Assembly. Mheshimiwa is a trusted and solution-driven leader with blended expertise in both the corporate, that is the motor industry. Yeah, girls can also be in vehicle issues, and public service. She has demonstrated a strong knack for accountable governance and oversight in public and private business operations. She holds a strong record of driving change and continuous improvement, leveraging best management practices. Honorable Ndeti has served in different capacities, that is head in government relations and public policy at CMC Motors Group Limited in Nairobi, Kenya. She has also been a logistics manager at CMC Motor Group Limited. She's a member and board of governors in different different schools. I would just mention a few, like the Moore Girls High School. And she's also a board member at Precious Girls High School in Makueni County. Let's appreciate her. The last and not the least is a vibrant man, because we're talking about the E for she. This is a gentleman who is a program officer, like Edward had said, in the Kenya Young Parliamentarians Association. Just to let everyone know, this is an organization that all elected MCAs and MPs sit in. So he's a boss of MPs and MCAs in Kenya. So the person is Honorable Ken Babu, HSC, and also being awarded HSC, that means that you've done a very amazing work that the president is actually appreciating. Ken Babu is a dedicated advocate for youth empowerment, leadership and governance with a background of project planning and management. Honorable Ken Babu has owned skills in organization and strategic planning, which he brings to his role as a programs officer in KYPA, again, which is Kenya Young Parliamentarians Association. Additionally, as a board director at the Youth Space Foundation, Ken Babu spearheads initiatives aimed at fostering innovation and creating opportunities for young people to thrive. He is passionate about effecting positive change using the youth lens. Ken Babu serves as a vocal advocate for youth spaces. Maybe you've seen him on TV, advocating for inclusive governance and equitable policies. Through his advocacy work, Honorable Ken Babu inspires and empowers the youth to pursue their aspirations and become better leaders and champions of the change in their communities. Karibu sana Babu. Let's appreciate him. So those are the people that are going to be sitting in our panel. And kindly, as we proceed, if you have a question, we are going to give you an opportunity to ask the questions. If you don't feel like you want to stand in front of everybody and ask the question, please feel free to just write it somewhere, and you can give one of the camera guys. They are going to bring it. Thank you. We are going to start the panel. How are you feeling, ladies and gentlemen? You feeling good? So we're just going to have conversations, honest opinions about gender issues. And by gender issues, I mean issues to do with sexual reproductive health and rights. It's quite unfortunate Machakos is still not doing very well when it comes to teenage pregnancies. I'm curious to know what NCPD is going to talk about. Ken Babu, unfortunately, uko peke yako, but then again, the ladies can also support you on the key role of how men can really support women empowerment. Again, you know, hatuwezi ishi bila wanaume. And also the ladies here, they're going to give us advice. Because when you talk about gender issues, it's not about being women. So maybe we can start by maybe asking Margaret Ochieng, because she has a wealth experience in matters gender from Shofco, and she has been on TV a lot. Maybe in a layman's language, you can maybe try to help us understand when you're talking about gender inclusivity, what are we really talking about?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Gender is very broad. And we talk about gender and inclusivity, we're not talking about just, because people have a mentality that when you talk about gender and issues gender, we're talking about women and girls alone. But that's not the case. When you're talking about gender, it's all both male and female. And gender and inclusion is all about bringing everybody on board, the intersectionality aspects. Where we're not leaving anybody out, because our major goal is equality. And when we're talking about equality, we ensure that we're not leaving anybody outside. We bring everybody on board, irrespective of the sex, the ethnicity, the age, irrespective of where that person comes from. We just ensure that there's equality and everybody is getting all the rights and no one is left outside. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Tumelewa, so that as we start the conversation, isikuwe ni only women. We really have to be inclusive even in this discussion. So I come back to you, Mumbi. What would you consider, now this is your opinion, it doesn't have to be in books, to be the most strategic approach in enhancing gender inclusivity in all spaces? Because again, today we are talking about enterprise development, we're talking about education, we're talking about mental health, sexual reproductive health and rights. There's also climate change. So in your opinion, what is the most strategic approach to ensure that we enhance gender inclusivity in matters development?
Good morning. I hope you can hear me.
Can you hear him at the back? If you can hear her at the back, can you give her a snap? Thank you. Go ahead.
I think I'll be a bit biased. I will first start with the best mechanism that I know, which is legislation. That is law and policy. But I think because of the crowd that I'm seeing here, I'll try to be practical as I can, so that I come to your level and you come to my level. What are the mechanisms? I'll try to speak Kiswahili also. I'm sure it will be a bit shocking. But it's what we are having now. Conversation. Kuongea na kuelewa what is gender inclusivity. I like what my colleague here has said, and it is important. One of the things that the government of Kenya has done, and the Constitution of Kenya, is to ensure the gender inclusivity. But as we continue realizing that gender inclusivity, we are now having a problem in our hands, which is a conversation that we must start having. We are now having the balance tilted, that we are having so many women being empowered, and the boy child is slowly fading into oblivion. So that then when we are talking about gender inclusivity, it is important that people understand it is not about being a woman. It's not about being a man. It's about you being a human being with equal opportunities to access what life has to offer. So that when we have that conversation, I think the best mechanism is to demystify that gender inclusivity means about women empowerment. I think that's the starting point. That you need to know that it is about the human race having equal opportunities, and this is how you begin. This is the best forum, and I congratulate to Boresha for this, that this forum then is where we start. Unaanza pole pole, ndio mwende kwenda juu, mwanze manyumbani, so that even a man who is a husband or a woman who is a wife knows, when I'm talking about inclusivity, I don't want to take your role. I'm just saying the fact that you are a man and you have an opportunity to go to work and you have an opportunity to give me money, the reverse is true. That I am a mother, yes. I am a woman, yes. I can go to work, yes. I can earn money, yes. And we can share our resources. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's true, and we really need to be very intentional in these conversations so that, again, we don't deviate away and come back, and then we conclude that women empowerment is gender issues. And actually, I would like to ask Valentine. You know, Valentine, you've been so intentional, especially in mentoring young girls. I'll openly say that sometimes I'll even text Valentine at 10 p.m. and ask her to pray for me. Sometimes I'll even go to her office and ask her, nitaanza wapi, ma'am? So the question that I have for you maybe, because you're also in the county government, and I know you've been implementing programs quite a lot. What is the success rate, and what is the success rate of current programs and previous programs when it comes to gender-based empowerment? And maybe, because of course you are the director, you can tell us now as a county government, what is it that you're also doing to empower the young women? Especially, I know there's a GBV center, maybe you can also tell us more about it. And apart from the building, what other programs are you having? Because I believe we have young ladies and gentlemen here who would really want to know what is the success rate, what are the interventions the county government is doing, and what is the way forward.
Thank you. Thank you, Mary. That's really wide. But to begin with, I can say that in our department, we are gender sensitive, and we have various programs that touch on issues gender. We have 5 programs, one being issues on disability, where we also mainstream disability and gender issues to make sure that they feel comfortable and they are catered for. Yes, we have another program on the elderly, where we also look at issues of gender. We have a program too on community groups, where we interact with the community, both men and women, on issues that pertain to their development as far as their activities in the groups are concerned. We also have a program on children, and mainly zero in on vulnerables and orphans in the community. And lastly, we have a program on gender-based violence prevention and responses. I can say that we've done quite a lot since 2013. I've been privileged to be in the county since 2013, when there was no social welfare. And we began that we began the programs, and I think I can say about the success stories, yes, a lot has been achieved. We've been able to touch lives in the community in terms of assisting them, both men and women. And remember, when we talk about gender mainstreaming, we make sure that we emphasize that it is not just about women, that it is about both men and women, boys and girls. We've been able to assist quite a number of people in terms of their needs. And whatever we do in our department, we actually follow what we have already articulated in our CIDP and in our annual development plan. And every year, we actually emphasize that gender mainstreaming has to be undertaken by every department in their work plans. About GBV, which I know is an area which touches a lot of people in the community, we have been very successful because in 2013, May, we started the first GBV technical working group. I can see some members here like Imam, and they have been very vibrant in ensuring that we succeed. Thereafter, we were able to start 9 sub-county GBV technical working groups. Later on, about 2 years ago, we were able to start ward technical working groups. What are the success stories? At least we've been able to link up people who are affected to the various duty bearers, because the GBV technical working groups have the composition of various government, departments, agencies, county government, both county government, national government, and civil society. So do we say that we've succeeded? We can say at least we've been able to sensitize people, create awareness, and GBV cases are reported now very well. And later on, we were able to construct the GBV Rescue Center. Our governor is very vibrant about that. She has actually assisted us in so many ways, and she says that she wants to open that GBV Rescue Center within the next 1 month or so, at least before the end of the financial year. So now, in our duty as a department, when it comes to gender issues, have we succeeded? We can say we are getting somewhere, and I know we are somewhere. Just like Waziri said, we already have a gender policy which is at the assembly level, and as soon as it is out of the assembly, we'll have an act to make sure that now we can use the law effectively on all gender issues in the county. We still have gaps in all the departments because our budgets are not so gender sensitive. But that is an area we are addressing because we want to ensure that every development aspect carries a gender sensitive budget, whereby both men and women, girls and boys issues are catered for. The other gap is on data. Yes, we've emphasized that we really need to know the numbers of people who are assisted or who fall in a certain program or project. That is still a challenge because sometimes even in our department we find that we hold forums and forget to actually document how many men and women were assisted. But that is our main issue because if you do not have data, you are not able to know whether you have gender inclusivity effectively. So data is my main area where I need to really emphasize that all of us, if you really want to take this subject further, you need to have your data to be able to argue out your points. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you very much. Just to also inform our audience, when she talked about CIDP, CIDP is County Integrated Development Plan, which usually is developed using the county government's plan and of course borrowing a lot from the governor's manifesto of course they also borrow from the in-sitting president, wanaomba pia some insights from the manifesto of the sitting governor, and usually it's a plan that is supposed to drive the development of a county for a period of 5 years. So when she talked about the annual development plan, it's basically 1 year taken from the CIDP, which is a County Integrated Development Plan, to 1 financial year, like mwaka moja. So all this plan, yenye sasa inakuanga a very big book, is divided every year. Year 1 is taken, year 2 gone, like that. But again, maybe director, if you can tell us what you meant by gender inclusivity and gender mainstreaming in development work in a layman's language so that we can all understand these terminologies.
Okay. Let me go to the community where we actually ensure that the entire county is covered. When we talk of gender inclusivity, the county, when we are doing planning in terms of budgeting or any other development, and especially our governor, I really echo our governor because she has been in the forefront in ensuring that she reaches everybody in the community, and herself, she actually personally undertakes activities in the community. So what do you mean by inclusivity in the community? It's the idea of ensuring that we do not just call for one gender when it comes to development issues. When we have forums, we ensure that wanawake, wanaume, vijana, yani wanaume na wasichana wote wameincludiwa. Initially, only those who are willing to come could come. But what we do, we ensure that we actually talk to opinion leaders to ensure that we have people from both genders are showing up to come and give their views. You only get included when you point out what you want or you question what you think is not okay. So that is where we have inclusivity, because when you show up as a person, you are able to articulate your issues and you also represent the issues of the people in your community. So I can say that is inclusivity.
Thank you. That is really well explained. I also feel ni kama pia sasa nimeelewa zaidi. So now to our young senator, Senator Nairobi. Unajua pia kukua Senator Nairobi lazima ukue pia fiti. Nairobi si rahisi. Tunasemanga Nairobi ni shamba la wanyama. Shamba la mawe. He has corrected me. So maybe if you can tell us, Honorable Ken Babu, what is really the key role of men? And remember, in our summit, you are very intentional about he for she. And no Mumbi would tell me should be he and she, so that we have the same and not discriminating. But I had to take some time to explain to her. So maybe you can tell us what is the key role that men can play? Because we must acknowledge, even when you look at our crowd, we have gentlemen here who have come to support women empowerment. What role can you play?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mary Mutula. Thank you so much, Mary, for this opportunity. Actually, I want to appreciate and recognize the fact that I'm the youngest in the panel. Simunipigie makofi bana. And in terms of qualifications and credentials, zile CV zimesomwa hapa jamani. Naomba Mungu anipe nguvu. So I think this is a discussion that is coming as at a good time. And I want to say that I recently saw the president appointing Fatuma into the top ranks of the military. I think that's a good communication, eh? That yenyewe wamama wanaweza au sio? Wamama wanaweza. I think that's a good communication, and when it comes from the top, then it shows that as a country we are heading somewhere in terms of gender equality and two-third issue. Recently I was, because she was sponsoring a bill, a bill on the issue of two-third, and I told the senator, this thing, when it reaches a point of voting, you see men and some women walking out. And I suggested to her, what if it is fronted by a man, and then the women in the parliament puts a bare minimum that if this thing does not pass, all of us are going to resign and seek fresh mandate. And then that means that everybody in the parliament will go home. Sindio? Do you think if there's anybody who's ready to go? Mheshimiwa, kuna mtu ako tayari kurudi nyumbani? Si itabidi watu wakae chini wapange maneno. So what I'm saying is sometimes we need drastic measures to sort issues. And as gentlemen, and I want to appreciate the young men and the gents that are here for finding time to join this convention to contribute. We have a critical role to play to ensure that the ladies are also moving forward. And I want to say, Mama just said something about questioning and pointing out what is not okay, and the issue of showing up. it is very important, most of for the young people. You know, I want to talk about the young people generally, without putting gents and ladies. For a young person, it is very important to show up. You come in here, it's not a waste of time. You had, I know you had other things to do. Maybe you could be sleeping in the hostels or anywhere, but you decided to be here. Whatever you're going to come out with from this place is very important as far as knowledge gathering is concerned, networking and capacity building. So what she said is very important. We need to show up. Me, I met Mutula in a sports conference. We had just, as KYP, just organized a sports conference, a tournament between Kenya young parliamentarians and the Russian embassy. And then I received a call from my CEO telling me to include, in fact, the list was already full, and I submitted the list to the embassy. And the CEO summons me and says, include Mary in that list. Nauliza mdosi, sasa tafanya aje na list iko na ambassador? Anasema kijana, nimekupea kazi, fanya hiyo kazi. Ama wewe ujitoe kwa list. So I had to also use my whip and strike off some gentlemen to fix Miss President. Jamani, siniliplay kama mimi. Sinilicheza kama mimi. So what I'm saying is opportunities will come your way as a man, but I'm not talking about favoring or something, but capacity. Having heard that she's the Miss President Machakos County, and what I know about Miss President's contest, it's not an easy thing. Then she must have invested so much efforts and resources to be in that capacity. Kusikia tu yani Miss President ngasema hapa kwa hii list, wacha niangalie comrade mwenye anakaa hivi hivi. Nikampiga risasi. Nikaweka Mary hapo. So what I'm saying is, gents and ladies, usikae hivi hivi. Ukikaa hivi hivi, utatolewa kwa list na mtu mwingine aekwe. So we have a role to play to provide opportunities. Finally, I want to mention something about GRB and GBA Plus. That is gender responsive budgeting. Recently, we convened through our mentorship program as Kenya Parliamentary Association. We convened a mentorship program for young people, youth serving organizations in Nairobi, where we were training them on how to go through and understand the budget policy statements. And after all that program, we did a petition to Parliament. Not us as the KYPA, but the young people now, whom we have trained. They did a petition to Parliament seeking and requesting that in the process of budget making process, there should be, the Parliament should employ gender responsive budgeting to ensure that when resources are allocated, the issue of gender is given a priority. So that a woman in Marsabit or a woman in Machakos, in terms of resource allocation, there should be balance. Wanaume wasichukue mingi, waache wanawake peke yao. Because in most cases we see, and ukiangalia how CDF, disburses the funds, at one point I was there. But tunapata wanawake MP, male MPs wanakujanga hapo kwa ofisi, they tisha, wanasema, mbona pesa zangu hazijakuja? And then the money is disbursed. What happens to a female MP? Ukuja ukaeka sauti, mbona pesa zangu hazijapigwa? Inagoramba, si ndio? So what we said, we need a legal framework so that this thing is not about who is demanding. It's a legal framework that dictates that whether gender, whether male or female, there should be a proper framework to ensure that is happening. And then the gender GBA Plus, that is gender budgeting analysis, we highlighted that when it comes to implementation of government infrastructures, the gender issue should be incorporated so that kama ni maybe a building, a story building, mwanamke at some point might not be able to climb 15 stairs, sindio? Depending on the situation. But mimi nitajikaza nipande, depending on what I'm going to look for. So we advised that the GBA, budgeting assessment should be incorporated so that when we are implementing these infrastructures, the gender aspect is also prioritized. So that everybody who is using that specific facility anapata equal opportunities and equal chances. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ken Babu. And it's important to also note that you're speaking as a man. So you're intentional in making sure that men take the key role in advocating for women empowerment.
Definitely.
Thank you very much. So I would like to come to Janet from NCPD. You know, your profile says that you're talking about the triple threats. Maybe you can tell us what these triple threats are and what you are doing, because I had just shared that it's alarming on the teenage pregnancies in Machakos County right now. Maybe, of course, you can share maybe some statistics if you can. If you're not in a position, maybe you can just give us a brief of what is really happening and in your own opinion. It doesn't have to be NCPD, or you can even tell us what NCPD is really doing to reduce the teenage pregnancy issue in Machakos, and maybe even advice on what Kenya as a country can make sure that we improve the livelihood of young girls so that we don't talk about these teenage pregnancies. And then again, maybe, this is lengthy, maybe when they get pregnant, what is already happening through the government to make sure that these young girls get the right education to become the women they really want to be in life.
Thank you, Mary. If I may start, maybe I start with the last one, the one you said maybe. But we don't want the maybe. But if in the event that young girl has gotten pregnant while in school, we advise the parents to allow this young girl to go back to school. Under the Ministry of Education, there's a school re-entry program whereby the Ministry of Education advises the teachers, the community, and the parents to allow this young girl to go back to school and continue with education. So first, triple threat means teenage pregnancy, HIV and AIDS infection, and SGBV. So at NCBD, we are keen in tackling this menace. This menace is affecting everybody in the community. Not only, even if you don't have a young girl, but it's affecting our community. Like now we are talking about women empowerment. If you are in a community or in a family where young girls give birth, they are not going through the education, will that family develop? Will it develop? You see now, the mother of this young girl will be forced to be taking care of the grandbaby, and now it will affect this mother who could be economically doing something to bring food in the table. Now is affected by taking care of the grandbaby, which is adding another burden in the family. Are you getting? So now, the statistics for teenage pregnancy in Machakos is quite high. At Machakos, we are at 9%, comparing to the national, which is at 15%, which shows we need to do, there's a lot which needs to be done. So first things first, we have to look at what contributes to this teenage pregnancy. Many times, these teenage pregnancies occurs in the community. And who are the perpetrators of these teenage pregnancies? Do you know this? The perpetrators? Yes? Who does this? Huh? Many times, the people who perpetrate these young girls are the people who are known to these young girls. Even the relatives. You get? So we go back to the family responsibilities. As parents, as mothers, as fathers, what responsibilities are we taking to take care of our girls when they are out of school? You get? So as parents, we are advising the parents, you make sure you know whom you are leaving your girl to. Whom are you leaving your children? Not only the girls, even the boys. Be it the uncles, the brothers. Nowadays, the world has changed. These uncles are the ones who defile these young girls, right? Huh? The people they know, they are the ones who defile these young girls. So what are we doing? We really need to go back to the responsibilities as parents first. We take responsibility of our children. We know where we leave our children. As much as we are looking for money to take care of them, we also need to take care of our children. We know where did we leave our children? Who is taking care of these children? You get. Also, it goes back to the community. The men are the perpetrators. They are the ones who are these young girls. Tuko pamoja?
So maybe if you can tell us, when you talk about the triple threats, what are these 3 threats?
Oh, on the triple threats, we say on one single sexual encounter leads to these 3 threats. For example, this young girl has been defiled, that is SGBV, sexual gender-based violence. Chances are this girl will get pregnant, and also she can contract HIV. You get.
Yeah.
So that is why we say the triple threats, SGBV, pregnancy, and HIV and AIDS.
Thank you very much. I would like to come to our Mheshimiwa. Unajua Mheshimiwa, it's an honor to have you here. And being the chair of the Women Caucus, wewe ndo kusema kule County Assembly. And you have a wealth of experience. I love the fact that you have been in the motor industry, a space where women are told, iyo ni ya wanaume. And you have thrived. You have held key positions in CMC Motors. You are an MCA, that means you're also involved in politics. Na siasa si rahisi. And having you here, I just thought about the intergenerational conversation. Honest conversation from somebody who was a girl like us, somebody who has matured, and you are now holding key positions in the country. I must also give you credit for all the diapers that you have even been donating in women prisons, all the sanitary towels that you've been given to girls' schools. That means that you're so intentional in mentoring young women. And maybe I'm not going to ask you a question, but I'm going to ask you to kindly please give us, as young women, some advice from your experience. Maybe if you can do that in 3 minutes, so that I know my friend from Shofco have not asked her a question, and I want us to start thinking about women mental health as you finalize. Karibu Mheshimiwa.
Thank you. Is it loud enough? Yeah. Can you hear me? Yes. Once more, my name is Helen Detty. This is my second term in the County Assembly of Machakos, and I was still the chair of the Women Caucus. I'm not young at age. I'll tell you, I'm going 68 years old this July. And I thank God because he has been there for me. When I grew up as a young girl, those days, for sure there was discrimination against women. Because I'll be very open with you and candid. When I finished my standard 7 education, my late father said he's not going to take me to high school because he did not want to educate a woman who is going to be married to another man. Okay? So I want you to understand why these women conferences have been meeting to discuss some of these discriminations that women have undergone. That was part of my growing up. When I went to work in an industry where there were no women. In fact, I was the first woman manager in CMC Motors Group. And I remember I still went through discrimination because my boss kept on telling me, you don't need salary increment because you're already married and your husband is working. Yet I'm working like him, you see? So discrimination everywhere. I think as a woman, first thing is to have an objective. Why you want to be where you want to go. start thinking, what do I want to be? And the moment you put in place what you want to be, you are going to reach there. Secondly, be resilient. If you want to go somewhere, don't allow any objective to come in between. Have your objective and work towards it, regardless of all the challenges that you go through in life. Women are very strong. Women make better managers if given the opportunity. But we must fight for this opportunity because nobody is going to give you on a silver plate. You must fight out for it. I know we have Kenya as a constitution which says we are all equal. Yeah, women, we all have equal rights, but I don't think it is applicable in some areas. So that means as women, and as we continue to meet, we should be able to look at those gaps that are still pending implementation so that at one day we shall all have that gender inclusivity where women and men will enjoy equal rights. I want to give you, before I finish, I want to give you an example even in the Machakos County Assembly. Last term, I fought very hard to make sure that women caucus is put in the standing orders of the assembly. But the same men fought, they didn't want to listen, and we did not manage. But this time round, we have men, we try to talk to the men, we talk to them, and they have accepted that the women caucus be put in the county assembly standing orders. You know what that means? It's a step forward because now, having a committee led by women, I'm going to ensure that all the budgets for the Machakos County Assembly come also through our committee and look at whether there are any programs that will take care of our women, our youth, and our disabled, because as nominated, that is our constituency, the youth, the women, and the disabled. As a woman, I feel that once God gives you that opportunity to be a leader, you should also have an impact on the community, on the society you come from. I spent my own personal money from the second term by ensuring that when I have money, I buy sanitary towels, I buy panties. I buy panties for both young girls and young boys, boxers. And I go distributing to schools, not just in Machakos, even in Makueni and all over. Because if, as women, once God has given you that chance to make it, you should now plow back that opportunity by empowering other women to come up like you. And if we do so, if all the women who are now in Kenya have made it, and they just take time to make sure that they empower, they grow others, then this world is going to be a better place to live. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was really insightful.
Yes, I just wanted to say something about the CIDP and the ADP. The CIDP, as Mary Mutura explained, is County Integrated Development Plan, which takes 5 years. But I want you to know that it's also 190 driven. Whenever there is a CID being formulated, there is always a public participation. I have not been seeing a lot of youth. I've not been seeing our even women, and most of the people who come there are men. Women and youth and girls, when will your issues be addressed if you do not attend public participations? We have a governor who is so interested in ensuring that she captures all these interests. Governor Wavinya has been participating in all public participations. I don't know whether you have noticed this, because our interest is to ensure that all 190 priorities are factored in our budgets. So please, I urge you to ensure that you attend public participations, which are normally announced through the radio, through churches and marketplaces. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And to also maybe inform everyone who is here that there are issues that the government, that is the national government, has given as a policy and a directive. When we talk about AGPO, which is basically access to government procurement opportunities. Every institution that wants to do procurement, they are mandated. Lazima wapatie 30% of all those jobs to women, youth, and people able differently. Swali ni, how many of us know that that opportunity exists? If you know that opportunity exists, then what is it that you are doing? Because tunaweza sema hiyo HAGPO mtu anatoa wapi? My friends, the HAGPO certification is free. And in case you have a challenge, Tuboreshe Pamoja is here, we'll get you sorted. Because you don't have to miss an opportunity as a young woman to earn some money in any institution because you don't have some information. So as we continue, I would like to come back to Margaret. Margaret is passionate about gender inclusivity. I don't know whether you've seen her on TV. Maybe next time when she's going live on TV, she should share the posters. And congratulations again for Shofco for being so intentional on women empowerment. We know the work that you're doing, which will be spoken about. After some time, we'll be told what time. But then again, when you talk about mental health, women and mental health, what are we really talking about? Because saa ingine unaweza pata mimi niko na stress, na sijui where to start. Maybe I don't know where to go to get these services. Maybe you can point out to us what really mental health is about, how women are affected by mental health, and maybe what interventions do you have as a gender expert now that you can share to the young women who are here, and to also the gentlemen that are here, so that they can go and share with their families and community. And before you answer my question, I would just like to acknowledge a few people who have stepped in. I've seen Esbonas Luke, who has really supported us, is from Deaf Empowerment. Maybe you can just wait from where you're seated. I've also seen Miss President, Nairobi County. Bina Maseno, who is also the Executive Director, Badili Africa. For your information, she was so kind to even sign an MOU with us at Tuboreshe, and we're looking forward to doing some amazing work at the university. Maybe if she can just wave. She has a very nice speech that she's going to talk about feminizing political spaces for young women. So back to you, Margaret.
Thank you very much. I will just applaud on what my colleague has talked about. There is the aspect of the intergenerational. Can you hear me?
Yes, we have a problem with our mics, maybe.
Yeah, there's the aspect of the intergenerational gap. Like you see, we have the millenniums. I think inside here, do you have millenniums? Those people were born between 2001 to 2020. Do you have them here? Huh? Gen Zs and Gen Xs. And I think she's a baby boomer. She falls between that because she says she's 68 years old. So she's a baby boomer. So we get a lot of experience and a lot of learning when you deliberate with people who came before us. And you see now we are having the technology, and there's so much that has come up. But she's talked about there was also violence when they started, when they were young and when they came up. So we can always exchange and deliberate and get to understand what really worked, the period of their period, and what we can maybe emulate and adopt to bring it to the civilization level of the millenniums, who are the youths, I presume, and also the Gen Zs and the Generation X. Yeah? So thank you very much for that. What I'll say is that the major challenge that women face in the world is violence, and that is gender-based violence. And that cuts across in so many ways. There's the emotional bit, there's the physical, and there's the sexual. And women go through these kinds of violence in a daily basis. But the most important thing that maybe I'll say to us is, what are we doing about maybe ending and ensuring that we are zeroing gender-based violence? Do people have information about maybe the referral pathways where they can get support when they are violated? Do women have, can women access the healthcare services? Like getting to an hospital, the aspect of distance, and maybe getting to the hospital and getting the proper healthcare. Can women access, or others access, the legal services? Which is very important, because when you say, when somebody has been violated, the most important thing is for somebody to get justice. Are there legal systems that can support women with maybe lawyers, advocates, so that they can get justice and ensure that at the end of the day they are feeling that they can stand out and say, I got in support? Do we have like safe spaces for women where women can stand out and speak out and maybe talk about what they're going through? Do you have safe spaces for such? Do you have safe houses for women and maybe girls? Because if we look at the highest percentage of persons who go through violations, they are women and girls. When are we going to end this menace of gender-based violence? And when I talk about gender-based violence, it comes with the mental illnesses and mental health conditions aspect. We'll just be talking about violence, challenges, women getting into leadership, women getting in political spaces, women being empowered, having policies that support women in maybe thriving. But we need to address the gaps that we have in the society to ensure that women can thrive, girls can thrive, everybody can thrive. So when we talk about mental health, this is the well-being of someone that has been left out. Most people don't talk about it, we don't talk about it. And you'll see if a woman goes through any kind of violence, there's trauma. If a girl goes through maybe, as she's talking about the triple threat, the SGBV, they go through trauma. And if this trauma is never addressed, because mostly it will never be addressed because there's no spaces where these women can speak out and say what they're going through, and even get support from the systems where they're supposed to get support like the healthcare, the legal, and even the other systems like the police station and all that, because they're maybe not friendly and they're not gender responsive. So if that happens, because it's really something that is going on, we find that women, even women seated here, most of them, they'll be going through any kind of violation and maybe trauma, and they even don't know where they can maybe get support from maybe the systems, and also systems that give psychosocial support and all that. So the most important thing is we need to ensure that information education is trickled down to the community. Women and girls and the rest of the genders understand where they can get support when they've gone through any violence, and they can also find places where they can get psychosocial support, the systems and all that. So information should be given to people so that they can know where they can get the relevant supports through the systems that are available. So women go through a lot of violation and trauma. And one thing that I love to tell us is silence will always kill us, and silence will always put us down. Because if you go through trauma and it is never addressed, the trauma will move to depression, and thereafter it will get to acute depression. If never addressed, it will move to psychosis. And also, if psychosis is never addressed, it will move to schizophrenia. So the most important thing is, do we have speaking out and getting support from the word go? If a woman, if any other person gets any kind of trauma, they should always get support, the psychosocial support, the talk therapy, before it escalates to those other levels where somebody will have to go through medication for the rest of their lives. So we have to give information to people, the relevant organizations that are here. We network together as organizations at the government, the private sectors, other stakeholders. We come together to ensure that these menace of mental illnesses and mental health conditions are addressed. Because if they're not addressed at the end of the day, and the future, that women are the best, are the foundation of the community, and if the challenges that they're facing are not addressed, we can never thrive in the community. So knowing where we can get that they're going through and also get support. And we should also have friendly systems and support systems that support these women and also girls, and also advocate for their rights, and also
I actually, personally, now this is personal, not to Boreshe, I always feel that mental health is a tickling bomb. If, as a government, does not put budgets to support programs in mental health, if the civil societies don't have programs to support the well-being of people when it comes to mental health, then that means that in the near a community or a people that are really struggling to even have conversations. Now, I would like to give an opportunity to maybe 3 questions that you'd like to ask the panelists. Please feel free. You can raise up your hand, then I can have maybe one of the people, the media team, or who do I ask? Nzembi. Nzembi will bring the mic to you so that you can ask the question. Nzembi is in charge of NCCK in Machakos. She has very many programs supporting youth and women. And I see Mweshimiwa already has a question. Because we've talked about mental health, it's important to also let you all know that Deaf Empowerment Kenya, who are our partners, are offering that service. If you really need to talk to a professional, I know it is expensive to pay somebody a kuongeleshe, but Deaf Empowerment have given us that opportunity. If you know somebody who really wants to talk to someone, please feel free and get the cards. I have the cards with me so that the drop-in center coordinator can talk to you. That is his profession. Also to update us is that at the drop-in center, we have cervical cancer screening, breast cancer examination that is already happening. And if you'd like to know your HIV status, it's also free. You can just go. It's ile kale kanyumba ka smart kako huko mwisho. Just feel free to walk in and get the services. And also to mention, we are live in Kamba TV, so you can go on your Facebook and share the link, or maybe tag people that would have really wanted to be here, but because of the different issues that they are handling, they are not able to come here. So Mheshimiwa, uliza swali lako.
I have several questions, not a question.
How many do you have? Maybe if you can only ask 2 masks.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
As much as we are talking about the 2-third gender role, I'm asking, I don't know your name. Mombi, about this question. Because when you see in the parliament or in the assembly, we have no many women. And when we are vying, we have that problem because most of the men have money to vie for the seats. And we women, we are there, we want to vie, we don't want to be nominated, to be seen that week. We want to be those seats as elected members. What are you doing to this, to the general, so that we can have many women in the parliament? The other question is, as much as we are talking also about the SGBV, the perpetrators, when they are arrested, we see them, wanatoka tu kwa koti, wanakuja in the area, na wanaanza kutusumbua. Because we are the people who are on because I'm the human rights defender in my sub-county. When we report the case, we see them again in the community, and the affected child is not getting justice. How are we going to do this so that the child can receive the justice? Because that is what we want mostly. Last but not the least, I was told to do 2, but the 3rd one. We see the kangaroo courts are there in the community. The mother is told that, hii ukisema, wewe utaenda kwenu nyumbani, uache boma lako. And this woman is fearing that. How are we doing, or how are you there to support us so that we can fight for this disease? Thank you.
Do we have any person? Yes, there's a lady at the back, and there's one here at the front. Questions? We can take all questions and then we respond to them at once because of time. Actually, the gentleman raising up his hand, he just came from Germany. That's the gentleman I was talking about. Karibu.
Thank you so much. Yeah, hello. My name is Jonathan. I'm really grateful to be here, and I just have one question. And of course, it's great to hear that we are tackling things regards to mental health. And what I wanted to know is there something like, I don't know, a 24/7 hotline that, is set up so that if someone or anyone, both male or female, is under duress or stress regarding the situation, one can be able to tackle the problem at hand, because when it comes to mental health, a lot of consultation, a lot of feedback that is required from experts is really important in this case. So this is just something I just want to clarify, and I guess I think will be important for the community at large.
Thank you very much. There's a lady, a young lady on this. You can take that, but there's a lady here. You can take that question.
Hello, my name is Victoria.
Maybe you can stand up. Thank you very much. You're looking beautiful today.
Thank you. So my name is Victoria. My question is in regards to gender-based violence. We see most of the victims we have right now are young girls aged between the age of 18 to 25, and most of them are victims of violence and sexual harassment. Some of them get pregnant, and the issue is not about lack of knowledge or discrimination. The issue is about they go to the police stations, they report these issues, but when they get there as victims, they become the villains, and they end up in jail. They are held up against issues of creation of disturbance. They are told they are making noise, they are causing disturbance within the community. And then the issue of gender-based violence against them and sexual harassment and defilement, it's not taken up to book. So the perpetrators, they are set free, and the woman is held in jail, and then she has to get bail to go home. She doesn't have funds. What are you doing as the government to make sure that the law enforcers, they take the women as victims, they make sure the perpetrators have been brought to book, and then they make sure that it doesn't happen again to the same woman in terms of prevention and law enforcement? That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that goes to Valentine. And also, Valentine, maybe if you can also tell us what are the concrete solutions to this issue of teenage pregnancies in Machakos, because it's at 9%, which is quite high. So we have another question from there. Rosfella Mheshimiwa will come to you. Maybe, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Jewel. My question is in regards to parents who don't talk to their children. Children growing up, their parents tell them kucheza na wavulana, but they don't really expand what is kucheza na wavulana. So can we get hospitals in the mashinani areas with education forums that can help these girls who can't access such like the She Summit? And what really can be done by the government on these issues?
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa Helen. You can take that up. Esbonas here has a question. Oh my God, the questions are so many. We can take, there's a gentleman raising up his hand. Please, he's from Alaika Group, which is a youth group that we are working with.
Thank you very much. My name is Hamos, and my question is based on gender equality. Now, as you know that many organizations are trying to follow up the SDGs. Is there a policy or a way to solve gender mainstreaming in this community? Thank you.
Thank you. Janet, maybe you can take that up, how we can use the SDGs to promote gender mainstreaming in development. Then we have Mheshimiwa Rosfella. She vied for MCA, and it's an honor to have you here.
Thank you. One is on mediation. Do we have mediators in our community? Because even if you say we should have mediators, we don't know them, and we need them. The other question is not a question, but I would like to ask our youth, you should not stay at home when you see or you hear there is public participation somewhere. I have been calling people to participate in functions, but they don't come. They ask, kuna pesa, let us volunteer. We started volunteering from a long time ago, but we are here with you and talking about volunteering. Volunteer and you get things right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Actually, yeah, you can bring it to me. Or do you want to read it?
Yeah, I can read it. It's
Yeah.
addressed to Ken Babu.
Okay.
It says, what is the government doing to ensure our youth, both male and female, are educated about drugs and drug abuse? To Ken Babu.
Ken Babu, swali kwako. The last question we can take from Ice Bonus. Oh my God, Edward is going to punish me. There's so many questions. But you're going to give you an opportunity because it's a Share Summit. There's a reason why you left what you're doing to be here and to recognize and respect that. But then again, maybe now to the panelists, as we respond to these questions, I'm kindly asking you if you can take maximum 2 minutes so that we can continue with the other programs. As Bonasa.
Okay, thank you. Mine not
As Bonasi mama, unajua unafanya kazi mingi sana hii community. We need to see you again.
So I am this bonus, eh? So mine is not a question, but just to add on the comment. Yes, we might be having all those system working, part of pathways that are there in place, and I know most of GBV issues are related. Most people tend to relate mental health to GBV, but also the other factor that's contribute to mental health. I know young people that have heard about mental health, but you cannot know when you have a mental health unless you visit somewhere to be screened. Eh? So if someone has not opportunity to go for screening so they can identify they have got that mental health, which other alternative they can know they have got mental health? Because I know that one has been a challenge. You can be sitting somewhere, you think you got stress, maybe it's a mental health. Do we have any other avenue that someone can know they have got mental health?
Kazi kwako Margaret. There's somebody, where is Mainzilani? There's Max, if you can come to the front. But there's a lady just behind you, just next to you. The beautiful lady. Go ahead, my dear.
I'm posing this question to the one in black.
That is Margaret from Shofco.
Yeah. The same thing with a mental health hotline, sorry. Are there like affordable places that people can go to? Like, is there, the same way there's a GBV center, is there a mental health center? Because most of the time, I'll have an issue, I can't go somewhere because it's like 15,000 per session. I can't afford that. Are there like other options for people who cannot access these things? And also insisting on the hotline. Is there a hotline for people? Because unaweza pata mtu anaenda kujua nafikiria, I want to talk to someone, I can't reach my friends, I can't reach anyone. Can I talk to a stranger? Yeah.
Thank you very much. That is really a very good question. Max, you can go ahead.
My question I'll pose to Mheshimiwa, it is concerning how can the youth be able to tap into the ICT with various initiatives being taken place, and how can they be able to know of the opportunities that the government has for them in terms of from the boom that we can see in the ICT sector?
Thank you. So we'll take the last two. There's a gentleman at the back, just seated behind. Oh my God, Joakilisha. There's a gentleman there. Raise up your hands so that you're seen. We are going to take the final three, yeah, and then we can proceed. Kindly, if you have another question, please feel free during the networking session to just ask these questions. Again, as Tuboreshe Pamoja, we look forward to having like an information desk where any young person that wants to get information on whatever is happening, they can just walk in our office. We are going to tell you where our office is. You can just walk in, get information. If we are not in a position to support, we are kindly going to reach out to a professional, an expertise in that field to talk to you personally. So, gentlemen.
Thank you. And to all protocol observed. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
So my name is Onesimus Mutie, and my question is directly to those in government structures. We already know that the main reason why we have devolution was to make sure functions are devolved to the rural areas and also to the lower part of the country. So, and we also know that youth is not fully devolved. So, like those in the government, what are you making to make sure that youth are reached by the government and they are also very close in terms of information and all that? So, because like what we are saying in terms of inclusivity, we already know that most of the victims are the young generation. So the information need to be reached to the youth, and you have seen that youth is not fully devolved. So maybe you can answer.
Thank you. That one I'll direct to Director Valentine, because that is the department that is doing that in Machakos. So we can have the lady from Jiwakilishe. You're looking beautiful. Maybe I can get a jumper from you. You can stand up, say your name, and ask your question.
Good evening. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Maureen. I'm posing this question to Margaret. Are there any alternative or complementary treatments for mental health disorders? Thank you.
Thank you very much. And then the last and not the least from Bina Maseno, Miss President, Nairobi.
I think habari za leo, mko salama? Warembo hai.
Hai.
Wamama hai.
Hai.
Wazee aya basi. Nashukuru, naitwa Bina Maseno, and congratulations to Boreshe for this forum.
Thank you very much.
So I think mine will be to Margaret, yeah? Yes. Two things. Number one, I'm concerned about emotional violence, because people don't report emotional violence. Unapata mtu anichapi physically, lakini ile stress ananipatia hata silali, you know. So I'm concerned about that, because that one is not reported, and it's the one that is leading to depression, it's leading to suicide, it's leading to so many other diseases. Because in the communities where I work, and have my team here from Badili, we have seen even women in chamas. Mzee alichukua pesa yote ya chama, but hakukuchapa, but they took all your money, and you have to pay back the money, na biashara hata haikuwezeshi kulipa ile pesa. So then, how do we begin prioritizing emotional violence? You know, because we don't put premium on emotional violence, yet you find, even in this room, utapata majority are walking around with emotional wounds, na ina affect vile wanafanya kazi. How they are working, how they are relating is being affected by the emotional wounds they are walking with every other day. And also, how can we know that we are struggling with emotional wounds? Because that's also another thing that I find a challenge in the communities that we work with and we work in. That is one. But then two, it's a question, and I'm not even sure who on the panel is dealing with the media, but because I also had Kamba TV is live streaming this event, we're talking about teenage pregnancies, you know, a very big issue. No, actually, even in Kenya, I think Kenya is leading at number 3 when it comes to teenage pregnancies in Africa, right? That's a very big issue. But I'm also worried about how we report about teenage pregnancy, because if, for instance, we are saying we have 1,000 teenage pregnancies in Machakos, it means we have 1,000 rapists in Machakos, because if you sleep with someone who's underage, you're a rapist, you're a defiler, you see. But then when we don't frame the story that way, we start asking ourselves, kwani hawa watoto nani anawachunga? What's the church doing? Then we don't start asking ourselves, why do we have 1,000 defilers in Machakos? Why? And who are these defilers? Because how the story is told affects how we are going to tackle that issue. Because there's only so much we can do to stay safe. Even when unavaa nguo iko na pleats hadi chini, someone will still harass you. You know, unafunga mpaka kitambaa tu unaweza bakisha macho peke yake. Literally ubakisha tu macho tu ya kuona penye unaenda. Bado kuna mtu atakwambia na bado akutukane because hujamsalimia. Na hakuna kitu kingine anaona, ni macho tu anaona na bado anakuharass. Surely. So there's only so much. But then for the media, how do we begin changing the narrative and asking the right questions? Because even when women are killed, the men or the people or or the defilers are not present in our stories even on TV. So you see, woman killed because of this and this. How could you? You see, and because the person who did that is not in that story, then we start asking ourselves, why did this woman leave? But we're not asking ourselves, why did this person kill? Why did this person rape? What else can we do? Why do we have a big number of defilers in Kilifi? Why do we have 3,000 defilers in Kilifi or Machakos or whatever? So then how do we reframe the stories? So we ask the right question, and then we don't go back to telling the story again and say, imagine this killer, ni mtu akunywangi pombe. It doesn't mean kama ukunywi pombe you can't do something wrong. We also want, like sanitizing defilers. We are like, oh, they go to church. You hear stories, oh, they go to church. There is no profile of a rapist or a defiler. Anyone can harm another person. And we need to start asking the right question and reporting the right way if we are to have better conversations in our communities. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Maybe Janet, you can take a little bit of that. Hey, watu wame- Yeah, it's because, to be honest, we also have to use media the right way. We need to call out these people. Kwani mimbe inatoka wapi? Ni matunda tunakula maembe? Anyway, so Mumbi also, you're also going, in the law perspective, you're also going to talk about it. So Janet, maybe a little bit about the numbers. Kenya being number 3 for a bad reason is not a good thing. And then I will take the last question, and mind you, I've been told 3 times now, we only take 10 minutes to respond to all those questions. So Nzembi, if you can read the last question, and then we can proceed. Go ahead.
Okay, there are 2 in this paper. So how can we promote comprehensive sex education that is inclusive of diverse gender identities and sexual orientations? How can we promote comprehensive sex education that is inclusive of diverse gender identities and sexual orientations? 2, what resources and support systems can be put in place for young people who are exploring their gender identity or questioning their sexual orientations? What resources and support systems can be put in place for young people who are exploring their gender identity or questioning their sexual orientations? Thank
I would
you.
like to ask, as bonus, is it okay if you took that up? And then we can start with you, then Mheshimiwa, because I understand they're discussing about the budgets, which is very important to us. As bonus, you can respond to that question, again, because of the wealth of experience. Yesterday, he was telling me he started working in 2006. I was still very young somewhere. So maybe if you can respond, because that is also what you do, then we go to Mheshimiwa, and then we go to our legal, and then now we can proceed. Mental health, when ndo utakuwa wa mwisho. Because it is clear, we need not to have a summit where we have genuine conversation, genuine and intentional conversations on mental health. Because hata ukiangalia maswali mingi ni GBV, mental health. Si ni ukweli? Maybe Shofko, let's see how we can come up with something like that. As bonus, maybe you can come to the front, respond to that, maybe maximum 2 minutes.
Thank you, thank you. I didn't see this coming. Eh? It is here. I think, as Mary said, I work for Deaf Empowerment Kenya. We support program in Machakos County, basically supporting young people. And when you support young people, you know, the issue of gender identity really come out clear. But also we have other partners that support programs within the county. So, like for those who have interacted with Deaf Empowerment Kenya, we have different intervention targeting different age bracket in terms for biomedical, structural, and behavioral. So the question that is being posed, how can we support comprehensive sexual education that is inclusive of diverse gender identity and sexual orientation? In terms of sexual orientation, it is broad. Eh? And in terms of sexual identity, this is something that's coming from an individual. And we have specific programs that support such kind of sexual education. Where we have the program that deals with the MSM are men having sex with men. We have the IDUs, we have also the PWDs, and also we have the program that support female sex workers and male sex workers. So we have specific curriculum under Global Fund, not necessarily for that, because we have other partners that are still working in Machakos, but supporting different intervention that on sexual orientation and gender identity. So every module has got specific sex education curriculum that target individuals. So that's something that if you're interested, you can just reach out, then we can link with the partner that currently implement the Global Fund so they can see how can access those services. And I think that one answers the next question of what resources and support system can be put in place for young people who are exploring their gender identity and questioning their sexual orientation. So once you participate in that program, then I think the question number 2 will be able to be captured in there, because sexual orientation is something that if you start discussing today, it is broad. It depends on the individual, where do you want to explore your sexual orientation. And everybody have got their right on sexual orientation. So I think that's what I have for now, because I think I've used 1 minute and 49 seconds. So the rest I can donate to the other person.
So, Mheshimiwa, if you can respond, maybe maximum 2 minutes.
Yes.
And if you have some time, you can also donate it to the next speaker.
I'll try, but I would like to attend the assembly this afternoon, with your permission.
Thank you, sir.
Now, I want to respond to the lady who said that her mother... I want to respond to the lady who said that her mother just kept on telling her not to play with the boys. Even me, when I was growing up, our mothers were illiterate. Right now, illiteracy rate for women in Kenya is 80%, meaning most of your mothers have been to school, they can read and write. My mother didn't know how to read and write, but she also never mentored me. In fact, it is through our grandparents who used to sit you down and tell you, once you have reached that age, please don't play around with the boys. But through church, I'm a Catholic by profession. I know we kept on being, through catechism, being told to take care of ourselves. Let your body be the temple of the Holy Spirit. Don't commit adultery. Don't commit fornication. And still, through mentorship in schools, I went through schools where we had female teachers who used to sit us down and tell us what to do to ensure that we don't get pregnant. Okay, I hope I've answered that. So there are many ways in which you can get this education through, your relatives, aunties, through school, through church, and even through also books. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Maybe we can go first to Janet and then Mumbi.
Thank you, Mary.
Go ahead. Somebody had asked about SDGs. We talk about what are these SDGs. That is for Valentine. Okay. Then you can respond on the teenage. Yeah, go ahead.
You can hear me?
Go ahead.
Yes, I'm responding also to the young lady who was talking about parents talking to girls. Nowadays, we are in the technology era, right? We are not like the eras of our mothers. We have programs where we sensitize parents and teachers. We sensitize the parents to be open, make everything open to your children. Because if you don't tell this girl, she will be told somewhere. You get? With the peers, she will even get it online. That is why we sensitize these parents. Sit together with your kid. Thank you. Hello? You can hear me. So I'm saying we sensitize the community, whereby we sensitize parents, both parents, a mother and a father. We advise them to sit with their children, both boys and girls, and then advise these girls, especially the mothers. For example, when this young girl, she has reached the menstrual age, you get. If this mother doesn't tell this girl, now look, you have started getting your period, this is how you go about it. And if you engage in sex, you'll get pregnant, you get. So we don't tell, we sensitize the community not to tell the girls, usicheze na wavulana, you get. We also sensitize these parents to tell the girls. There are certain ways even the uncles, the relatives behave towards this girl. Nowadays, watoto wana grow haraka, sindio? You see this girl is round, she is looking beautiful. Even the uncle now is trying to seduce this young girl, you get. So now we sensitize the parents, talk to
to your boys, talk to your children. Everybody should be a brother's keeper, even in the community. Like there's one who said in church, the problem nowadays, we sensitize even the religious leaders. Let's call a spade a spade. This man has defiled this young girl. He has maisha ya msichana. When you say forgive, musameh, what will happen to this young girl? You see, the education of this girl has been cut down. So now we have these forums, even the religious leaders, the clergy, the imam is here, he can attest. We tell the religious wanaume wacha kunyemelea watoto wadogo, right? So if we do this in the whole community, even the men, we do have programs sensitizing the men. Sometimes the men, they say, oh, sikujua ni mtoto wa shule. You get? So now we sensitize the men. Even if you see this girl is behaving some, like for example, the peers. There's a lot of peer pressure in the social media. Watoto wanataka pesa. So anakuja kwako, behaving like in a manner which is also provoking you. So now we sensitize even the men. When you see these young girls doing this, please take a stop. Know how to respond to this. Sawa sawa. There was also that one on the data on teenage pregnancy, right? As I said earlier, Machakos, we are at 9%, and the national, we are at 15%.
What does 9% mean? Is it 9 out of 100? What is it?
9 out of the population.
9 out of population, meaning that is very high.
Yeah, the population in Machakos.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that information. And again, I'm also trying to think when it comes to religious leaders. I know NCCK is well represented by Nzembi. Imam is here. We actually sit in the same teenage working group, ending teenage working group, that is technical working group on ending teenage pregnancy. You know, sometimes ni vizuri tuambiane ukweli. Msichana anapata mimba, si ndio? Then the religious leaders wanawafukuza kwa kanisa kwa sababu they are bad examples. That one we may not discuss here, but maybe that can be a message. Do we keep on chasing young girls who have gotten pregnant out of church? Or should we bring them closer and have intentional conversations? Hiyo nimewachia hapo, nimewachia Imam na NCCK, which is represented by Nzembi here. So maybe we can, if you can proceed to Mumbi. There are a lot of legal issues. I know you are a friend and you like supporting people. I don't know whether you're going to volunteer and support organizations here. But wacha tuambie.
Okay, thank you, Mary. I think I need to start from here. And you can hear from the conversation in the room that people do not quite, it has not yet been demystified about inclusivity. Because there is inclusivity, there is equality, and there is equity.
Sasa tu explain hizo
Now,
zote zinamaanisha aje?
Inclusivity is, wacha nijaribu kuongea Kiswahili. Inclusivity is, mimi kama mtu, ninafanya kazi Machakos University. Wakifanya policies zao na decisions zao, wananiita wasikize maoni yangu. That is inclusivity. It is a personal feeling as to whether when decisions are being made appertaining to my success, I am included. Hiyo ndio inclusivity. So that inclusivity is gender for both male and female. It's a personal feeling. Then you have the equality. The equality is the man and the woman are given equal opportunity, equal playground to access opportunities to live a successful life. Now, equity, and that's where our problem is as a country. Whereas the Constitution has done a beautiful job in matters inclusivity and in matters equality. Because if you look at that Constitution, right from Article 1, it has all persons, all persons, all persons. It has done a beautiful job. But is there equity? And equity is the process of ensuring equality. Kumaanisha, kama tunasema unataka kuwa equal Machakos University for instance, na men and women are the same, tutafanya process hivi. We say, and I'll use an example like we've done in the Students Association. When you're vying to be a student leader,
Okay? It is not sufficient to say that man and woman have equal opportunities. What is the process to get there? So what we have done as an institution is to ensure, since the male and female are equal, and we want equal opportunities at that helm, and they run as a ticket, as if it is a male president, the female must be, the deputy must be female.
Oh, let's clap for them. Let's
So
clap for
that-
them. That's amazing.
And that's where the problem is as a country. Whereas the Constitution is beautiful, it is one of the most progressive constitutions in this world, next to the one in Canada. It has a beautiful framework. But the inclusivity, and that is where, unfortunately, young senator, this is my message when you go back. Unfortunately, our political system is hypocritical when it comes to inclusivity. Because I would expect this. If the president who is vying is a man, and it's a one ticket, then the deputy automatically, without even discussing, becomes a female. That way, then you have realized the process of ensuring that you meet the 2/3 rule, which leads to equality. So I hope I'm clear that you have inclusivity, you have equality, and you have equity. Our problem as a country, our problem as institutions, is the equity, the process of ensuring. And so that we must go beyond legislation and policy. And when we are, because policy gives life to legislation, is to ensure the inclusivity is captured in the policy. So that if you want to vie a political position, tuseme county kuna 17 positions, you have a policy that ensures these 17 will realize inclusivity and equality. I hope I have answered that
You have
clearly.
answered that one. You can proceed to, there was
Now,
issue.
the second one was on sexual harassment, and I'll handle that together with informal justice systems. And I think I'll also handle that with about mediation. Again, it is a matter of implementation. Sexual harassment is very thorny. Thorny because we are moving, I think as a country, I keep saying this, and I say this with a lot of due respect, because I am a Kenyan by birth, and I come from a dual community where one is purely women do not talk. I don't want to tell you where that is. I come from a dual community. One, my name betrays me, I am Mumbi. And from that part of the Mumbi community, I come from where women are very powerful, you don't tell them anything. But the other community is where women do not speak. In fact, my master's and my PhD currently is about alternative dispute resolutions. What is the problem? Alternative dispute resolutions are okay. But as a society, we are so hypocritical that we do not look at the real issues. We shy away from them and hide behind legislation. And I said, Leo, nitakuwa very blank. I'm one of the people who don't believe on paper and print and burying my head under the sand. Because this is the Kenya we are living in. It is a world, here we are. Now, we need to move from beyond paper and print and have the sober conversations. And I'll marry that with what she has said about the church leaders. And I thank you, Ma'am, you're here. I mean, when we were growing up, we had only one station, KBC, or for those who are slightly behind, above me, VOK. We never used to have internet. We never used to have access. Right now, if I opened my phone here, it doesn't even respect the fact that I'm a Christian. I will have all manner of pornographic material, all manner of sexual anything. Anything is available on my phone. And here we are, as Kenyans, buying our children at 9 years old phones. Then we sit there and quote and unquote, say that, wapi wale watu wenye wanawarip? Yet, iko kwa simu. Hakuna mtu amemfundisha. Yeye mwenyewe. And we are social beings. Whatever you see with your eyes gets into your mind, gets into your spirit, and it becomes an action eventually. So you will not even need to talk to that child about sex. Si anaiona kwa simu. Do you normally check kile mtoto anaangalia kwa simu? Wewe kazi yako ni ukifika nyumbani, ama you are nanti unasema, wacha kunisumbua, shika simu. Do you even check what they are doing? No. But remember, We are products of what we hear, what we see, what we listen to, and what we are told. So if we are not checking what our children are listening to, surely it is no wonder we are having sexual pregnancies. Very many. And it's unfortunate. But where do we go from here? Let us stop demonizing the act of sex and handle the real issue. Can we talk about healthy sex? Because even if we want, and you see, that's why I'm saying it's a policy issue. The law is clear, sexual harassment will be handled like this. But when you go, and most of the cases, and I want people to come down from that pedestal of thinking that the society is forgiving sexual harassers because of lack of evidence. No. The reality on the ground. And by the way, I have not heard anyone talk about sexual harassment for boys. And now it is at the highest. I would not be surprised if it is beyond 9%. Why? Because women who are single and have the money will use their money to control these young men. And it is happening. And you know what that culminates into? When somebody abuses you emotionally and sexually because they have a position of authority to do that, for instance, by using money, it robs you your right and freedom to choose what you want to do with your life. So that what are the conversations that we want to have? Because legislation is there. It is there. And more often than, in fact, nowadays, it is so hard in criminal cases when it comes to sexual harassment and
maybe
defilement.
What can we do about the kangaroo courts? Because in Machakos, it's really an issue.
Okay, this is what you do.
Wanachinja kondoo.
I like one of the things that, and you can see the judiciary is doing it very well now. Article 159, 1, 2, and 3, and that's where, you know, people think about informal justice system and they think it's about arbitration, mediation. They only stop at Article 159.2. 159.2 is what talks about alternative dispute resolution mechanisms. That is reconciliation, arbitration, mediation, and reconciliation. Then it did not stop there. And this is what we need to do. Article 159.3 recognizes those informal justice systems. Those ones, where unachinja kuku, unapeleka mutu na muna decide hapana hapa, tusameheane, sisi ni majirani, hatukuwa tunataka. The Constitution does, but it doesn't stop there. It says, if that system is against the law, then you invoke the law. And that's where we are having a problem. We are busy castigating an informal justice system, but we are not making that connection. An informal justice system is not absolute. Si ati kila kitu wamesema hapo, it must be measured within the law, so that whatever is not within the law then is handled by a formal system. I hope I have answered. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Director Valentine. Hey, let's applaud for her. A beauty with brains. Director Valentine, ma'am.
Yeah, now there's somebody who's talked about the police station, that we have some irregularities there. Yes, we've received some complaints on different occasions, especially during COVID. I know people used to go there, and I think maybe because the police could not keep them for long, or they had so many cases on board, a lot of people received a lot of harassment. But what we say is that if you go to a police station and you realize that you are not catered for well, you need to report. Remember, I said that we have the GBV technical working groups, and those are different multi-sectoral GBV technical working groups, whereby we have players from different organizations, different departments and agencies. The police are also part of the technical working groups. In fact, the main technical working group has a composition of the main departments and organizations, and that trickles down to the community where the ward technical working groups are. So in case you go to a police station and you are mistreated, you need to report to either our department, or if you know of the technical working group members, you can report to them. At the police station, we have the gender desk. There are people who go to report their cases, to the wrong place. If you just go to the reception, chances are you will not be well received because possibly they've not been trained on how to handle GBV cases. But for the police stations which have gender desks, they have been trained on how to receive cases of GBV, and I'm very sure you'll be well treated. We always have transfers. So sometimes maybe if you report at a time when somebody has not been trained, they are not likely to know what. But it is our initiative with our partners to continue training them. We've done this previously with DEC. They've been our main supporters through Global Fund and Red Cross. And in fact, they are our partners. We started the drop-in center because of the issues in the community that the teenage girls are not able to address at the hospital. So when they come to the drop-in center, they meet their youthful officers who are there, and they are able to actually explain their issues to them. And later on, those issues come to our office, and we are able to refer them to the right office. So if you get any cases of mistreatment at the police station, kindly report so that we can address it with the officers in that station. About the concrete solution for teenage pregnancies, we do a lot of awareness creation and sensitization to not only the girls, but also girls and boys, but even to the caregivers. We've worked with DEC again on community sensitization. We have outreaches for teenagers, for children between the age of 10 to 24 on different programs. And we have received positive response from our community. I know a lot of people have said that men are the perpetrators. It's not always. We've received different scenarios on issues of teenage pregnancies. When we talk to the young girls, you realize that different ways that girls get pregnant. And some of them actually think it's just a small issue. There are those who do not know that if they possibly have intimacy with a boy, they are likely to become pregnant. So we do the sensitization to make them aware of their bodies and what the repercussions will be. That is the main area where we have issues. They do not know. And they don't also know that they're supposed to report to the hospital when this happens, that they're supposed to go for medical checkup, treatment, and even prevention of that pregnancy. So I suppose that's why Machakos County has high numbers, because the information is not yet well and known in our communities. So we are doing that, and we hope that even with the schools, as we continue venturing into the schools, we'll be able to reach more girls and actually ensure that a lot of them do not become pregnant. So that is a message that we need to carry, all of us, to the parents, to the children, in every forum, so that they can understand how teenage pregnancies come about. About youth programs. Yes, somebody said that youth is not devolved. But county governments, even the programs which are not devolved from the national government, county government is the mother wa kila mtu, si ndio? Yeah, the governor owns all these people. So whatever programs which are running at the national government are also in the county government. So in our department, we have youth programs. And in fact, I'm glad that Waziri is here. Waziri, I wish you could talk about the youth service which is upcoming, where the governor, Her Excellency Governor Wavinya, wants to empower youths. So youth programs are in our department. We also have sometimes online sessions on different topics, and especially mental challenges, so that we can inform youths on what to do. Mental challenges are not mainly on women and girls. It is also very common nowadays with our boys and men, and it is because they rarely talk about it. At least women
a good percentage of them are able to converse with their peers and even various institutions, and they are assisted. But the main problem is with men who do not even talk, and we've had escalating numbers of suicide cases, mainly on boy child. Yeah, so youth programs are actually in our department. And the other thing is, if you move around all the departments of the county, if you visit them, that personal initiative, you are likely to know what is happening.
It's
and,
true.
Yeah, and we emphasize to our people when we are doing community outreaches, because we have officers in all the sub-counties, to actually visit our departments and get to see what is available so that they can be assisted. Thank you.
Actually, unajua sisi kama vijana lazima tujitume. Hakuna siku serikali pia itakuja kukujia kwa nyumba ikwambie, you know we have these programs for you. Sometimes it is okay for you to walk into any government office. Hakuna mtu mwenye atakwambia that you don't have an appointment, go home. No. Come to the youth center. This is where we have the Ministry of Youth, Gender and Social Welfare. Come ask questions. What programs are there? Sindio? How can I be part of that program? Ndo pia sisi kama young people tutumie your time to also expose ourselves to different partners who are doing different programs. Sawa sawa. So now I have decided, because of time, to not have Babu talk about the issue of drugs and substance abuse, because again, when you think about the solutions, some of these solutions that we have is what has really been talked about. Maybe I want to have Margaret, because mental health and GBV really came out in this panel discussion, to just maybe, as she also points out on the hotline numbers, alternatives that have been asked, you also had in the aspect of drugs and substance abuse, so that when we are done with that forum, we can end our panel discussion, and then we end there. Maybe Madam.
Thank you.
With a lot of respect. Unaweza tumia 2 minutes or 3, and I'm sorry.
I'll try.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, there's somebody who asked about how do you know if you're suffering a mental health condition. Because I talked about, you know, when we talk about mental health condition, it escalates from so many challenges. Like somebody might, like the youths, unemployment can cause trauma and mental health condition. Maybe somebody is having debts, it can cause that, grief. So the violence, sexual gender-based violence can cause a mental health condition. And how do you know that you're suffering it? Self-awareness is very important. When you're having any challenge in your life, maybe you're going through saizi hauna kazi, you need to examine yourself each and every day. Any challenge that comes your way, you need to examine yourself and definitely know that you're going through trauma and you're also going through a depression in one way or another because of the challenge. So self-awareness, just examine yourself. Each and every day you need to self-examine yourself to ensure that it does not escalate further. So speaking out is the most important thing. And I talked about when you've gone through any kind of challenge and it has never been addressed, and maybe it gets to that trauma, and trauma is never addressed, I said it gets to depression, and if depression is never addressed, it gets to acute depression. If acute depression is never addressed, it gets to psychosis or even schizophrenia. So there's a point in which talk therapy works. Trauma ikianza, that's why you need to examine yourself and jua leo nimeamka aje, am I okay? So if you're not okay and you're suffering something, you need to find someone to talk to. Because the more you talk it out is when you let it out, and is when you get well. And trauma is addressed by a talk therapy and psychosocial support and counseling. So we have platform systems where counseling are normally done free, and also therapies are normally done. Maybe I'll share the hotline numbers and maybe the systems that does that later with Mary.
Do you have the hotline number so that maybe people can just
And mostly they are Nairobi. They are Nairobi ones. I'm not so sure if you have Machakos ones, but I can follow up and share with Mary. And also there's the online counseling that normally takes place in those hotline numbers. So examine yourself. Self-awareness is very important. If you're suffering any kind of challenge, you need to address it, speak out, because if you keep quiet, it escalates to those other levels, and when it gets to schizophrenia, definitely you have to get treatment. Lazima upelekwe hospitali utibiwe. Schizophrenia is where so unaanza kujiongelesha, say you're mad, unajiongelesha, you're just doing things recklessly. So when it gets to that level, a talk therapy cannot work. What can only work is treatment. That is why you are going to see a psychiatrist. So with talk therapy, it's just a counselor and maybe a psychosocial counselor. But when it comes to those other levels, you have to see a psychiatrist. Even unapatanga mtu anapelekwa Mathare. You've heard about Mathare? It does not mean that when you mwenda wazimu, it's just has to be addressed through a treatment that is very important. I think I've talked about alternative treatments, the therapy and treatment. Somebody talked about about emotional abuse. When you're talking about emotional abuse, all kinds of violation escalate to emotional abuse. But at times you'll find the verbal ones. Like mtu amekutukana, somebody has said something offensive to you, it gets to emotional abuse. So that is where also a counseling and talk therapy works. And at times you hear, maybe mtu ametukana mwingine, you are HIV positive. You see, we have policies that govern that. We have policies that govern some kind of verbal violations that we also need to know and understand. So when it comes to emotional abuse, people really look, we don't really put much emphasis. But all kinds of violation, be it physical, sexual, be it emotional, suffer emotional abuse, which needs to be addressed with counseling, therapy, before it maybe escalates to those higher levels that can make somebody get to treatment or even get to madness. Generally, what I love to say, the most important thing, I think, gender mainstreaming is very key and very important. When we're doing our policies, we need to ensure that there's a lot of gender mainstreaming in it. Policies, our programs, our institutions. Inclusivity, very important. When I was just walking up here, I was thinking of the PWDs. How do they access this podium here? Institutions, are they disability friendly? Do you have the aspect of inclusion in institutions, in schools, in hospitals, and in our homes, in churches, and all over? So when you talk about inclusion, it's something that needs to be looked into socially, economically, and also politically. And this is something that we need to advocate for as CBOs that are here, NGOs that are here, the government partners that are here. Because let it not just be in terms of PR and maybe paperwork. Because I've seen we have so many good policies, and implementation is what is poor in our country. So we have smart, good policies and even others coming up. But when it comes to implementation, it's just on paperwork. So it calls for networking, coming together as partners, to ensure that we are having a multi-faced approach to address these issues of inequality, and also the aspect of intersectionality, bringing everybody on board, irrespective of their race, their ages, their sexual orientation, irrespective of where they're coming from, and all that, and ensuring that they're also put on the table. Because you say that you want to bring equality, we have to bring everybody on the table to ensure that equality comes up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Maybe we can clap for her. You see, as much as we're talking about policies, implementation, we also have to stop stigmatization. Because if somebody openly talks about what they're struggling with, most people attack them, most people blame them, instead of maybe, if you're not in a position to listen and not say anything, maybe even referring them to somebody who can, or an institution that can support them. When it comes to the outlines that have really been asked, because that means there's a need. A lot of people want to talk to a professional, but it's not everybody is going to afford 3,000 per 1 hour. Nobody is going to afford 15,000 to see a professional for 1 hour. We are going to gather the outlines and share with every one of you before we close the summit. Sawa sawa. So that also we are free to even share these numbers with friends and family members who really need this support. So it has come to an end. One thing, 1 minute or less, maybe 30 seconds. Okay, please.
So I'd also love to tell us, the youths who are here, Shofco, we are running programs for mental health. Maybe we'll talk about that in the afternoon. We have so many programs in Shofco. And the mental health program, we've rolled it out in other counties. I think we are coming to Machakos next week. And we have our lead here who will tell us more in the afternoon. So we've realized that youths are really suffering. This is a great challenge that youth suffer, mental health conditions and illnesses that are preventing them to thrive in the community. And once that is addressed, and also the aspect of economic empowerment and all that inclusion, I think things will be better. In Shofco, we are running several programs and which are youth-friendly, just to ensure that we are seeing youths thriving, because youths are the future generation. I talked about the millenniums, I talked about the baby boomers and the Gen Zs and all that. We're also cracking down conversation to bring all these generations together to ensure that we are having a better future. Because if we are not careful, we are losing a generation somewhere in between here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It has come to an end of our panel. Please, let's appreciate our panelists. In absence of Mheshimiwa, who has just left to sort some issues in the county assembly. Maybe with your permission, our panelists, if we can maybe just stand here and we can take a group photo. Our camera people, if they're here, just take a group photo for this panel, and then I'll take back the program to Edward Ndari.
My boss has mentioned. The next partner is Kamba TV. Kamba TV. Who's speaking on behalf of Kamba TV? Hayuko bado. Sorted Kitchen. I want us to appreciate this young boy. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali. I always call him my younger brother. And when he saw us posting this event, he reached out akaniambia, Edward, mimi nitanunulia hao watu wote maji. So all the water you took in the morning, it's courtesy of this young man. We can do better than that. He runs a catering company. I request on his behalf, give him business. He will never disappoint you. Please speak.
How are you good people? Mko salama? Mmefurahi refreshments ama mmegonga kando kidogo? So mimi naitwa Brian Mwendwa. I am the CEO of Sorted Kitchen Kenya. Basically we are a catering company that deals in all kinds of events. So ukiwa na birthday, rurashio, wedding, graduation party, we are your people. We are very affordable. Services iko top notch. Ukiangalia kwa hiyo chupa yako ya maji, kuna nambari hapo chini. In case of any details you want to know more, kindly contact us. We are Sorted Kitchen Kenya. We are right before Tasty. Asanteni. Okay, so when you kupata maji, my number is 07 43 80 70 59. We are open on all social media handles in case number utapata. Asanteni.
Hiyo hoodie ni venye tu haiwezi nitosha, lakini next time hakikisha unaletea watu kama sisi hoodies. You can talk to a branding company Woodnock wa kutengenezea more hoodies. Thank you so much. That is Sorted Kitchens, KYPA. Please come. That is Kenya Kenya Young Parliamentarians Association. He will be reading a speech on behalf of his boss, who was supposed to be here, but for some reason he was not able to make it. Please give us the remarks za kiongozi.
Thank you so much, Bwana Edward. I think you are cut for this. Hii kazi unafanya vizuri sana. Esteemed guests, organizers of this event, ladies and gentlemen, and vijana wenzangu, hamjambo? Hamjambo tena? Vijana power! Vijana power! Siwasikii bwana, kwani hakuna vijana huku? Vijana power! Thank you so much. Like I said earlier on, my name is Ken Babu. I work with the Kenya Young Parliamentarians Association as a programs officer. But at this juncture, I would like to give the remarks of my CEO, Honorable Anthony Buluma Samba. He was supposed to be here, but unfortunately, due to some unavoidable issues, he was not able to make it. So I'll be a bit direct to the point. You know, when you're assigned by the boss, you just have one duty, is to deliver the speech. Fast forward, I would like to pass the greetings and regards of my chairman, Mheshimiwa John Mukunji Gitonga. That's the member of Parliament, Manyata constituency in Embu County. He is the chairman of the Kenya Young Parliamentarians Association. I would also like to pass the regards of our Secretary General, Mheshimiwa Paul Longili, Babu Owino. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, you'll allow me go direct into the speech of the CEO. County leadership present, invited guests, youths, and esteemed participants gathered here today for the She Summit under the leadership and patronage of Mary Mutula. It is an honor to stand before you today as the CEO of the Kenya Young Parliamentarians Association and to share a message of empowerment on behalf of our organization. At the core of our mission lies the unwavering commitment to champion the rights and aspirations of both boy and girl child, ensuring they have the support and the opportunities they need to thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, in the words of Malala Yousafzai, we cannot all succeed when half of us are held back. This is a poignant reminder that underscores the urgency of empowering our girls and boys and ensure gender equality, breaking down barriers and creating pathways for them to realize their full potential. As Michelle Obama, in her own wisdom, would put it, and I quote, "There is no limit to what a woman can accomplish." I would like to bring her to attention and urge all of us to utilize these words and work tirelessly to create a world where every girl can dream without any limitations. Ladies and gentlemen, as young parliamentarians, we recognize the pivotal role of youth-led policies and youth-friendly legislations in shaping a more inclusive society. Through mentorship and networking, we aim to empower the next generation of leaders, equipping them with tools and knowledge to drive positive change in their communities and beyond. Today, our role extends beyond the chambers of parliament. It is about fostering a culture of collaboration and support, where every voice is heard and every idea is valued. Together we can build bridges, break down silos, and create opportunities for meaningful dialogue and action. Ladies and gentlemen, let us seize this moment to reaffirm our commitment to the empowerment of youth, particularly the girl child, to mentorship, networking, and to relentless pursuit of quality and justice for all. As I conclude, I want to thank the organizers and the leadership of Tuboreshe Pamoja for your dedication and passion and having in mind the idea of putting up such a setup for the young people and the community to converge and have a discourse. Together, we can and we will make a difference. Yours truly, Honorable Anthony Samba Buluma, Chief Executive Officer, Kenya Young Parliamentarians Association. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That is just a confirmation that all the young parliamentarians in Kenya are aware that we are here. And this is the message from the chairman himself, being read to you by the program's leader. Thank you so much for coming. Tumpigie makofi tena. Asante. DJ Georges, come. Tupigie hawa watu makofi. Tafadhali pigieni hii community makofi. Thank you. This is also yet another brother of mine that when he saw what we had posted, he said, logo yangu haiwezi kosa hapo. And he said, we will come and we will offer our DJing services for free. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali. Karibu, say something.
Edu, unajua umeniambia say something. Good afternoon, Queens. Good afternoon, Queens. Okay, nani hajakunywa soda by the way? So, good afternoon, Queens. Thank you. And the kings wenye wako hapa ni aje? Basically, Edu is a very good friend of mine. I can see clients pia nimewaka na wao. I can see people like all my mentors here and my clients. So basically, my name is Georges. I'm the CEO of Georges Entertainment. Basically, Georges, we do events from brand activations, corporate events, weddings, and we also have brand ambassadors, hapo tu ndani. So please, if you feel like we fit in your environment, in your event, please feel free. One of the guys from the protocol side wako na cards ziko hapo ukitaka. Na pia kama ungependa kutupigia simu, it's 0723 11 89 87. 0723 11 89 87. Also kwa social media nipate kama DJ Georges. Georges iko na J. J-E-O-R-G-E-S. J-E-O-R-G-E-S. Thank you very much. Tupatane tena.
Tumpigie makofi tafadhali. Amigo Sounds, who's saying a word on behalf of Amigo Sounds? Karibu sana. Just greet us na utuambie a word from your CEO.
Hello guys. Hello. I'm Dominic, and on the behalf of Amigo Sound, tumeshukuru sana.
Tuwapigie makofi tafadhali. Asante. Do we have representatives from Kenya Red Cross? Kenya Red Cross? So see if they are not there, and I'm trying to rush through this because of time. Katia Nkata, tuwapigie makofi tafadhali. Wapigie makofi tafadhali.
Hello everybody. Habari ya leo. Yeah. I want to give kwanza a big thanks to Mary mwenye ako hapa hivi. Alini-invite to this event. I came last week from Germany, and we are working in parallel with Katia Kara Holdings. So what we do actually is we are in the real estate business, and we've invested locally here in Kenya, with expansions ongoing currently in the United Arab Emirates and also in Germany, where I am based. The expertise, as I've explained, is directed in sales of properties, construction works. We do maintenance around Nairobi area and other, Kilimani area in Buruburu, all around. And also management of properties that are already ongoing. So this is something that we are really more engaged into, and especially right now due to the fact that floods zimefanyika na nini, so we are trying to help most of our clients to do some of the repairs and everything close to that. And so our partnership with Tuboreshe Pamoja is vital in society, and for this reason, we chose to support in ensuring the kids have attire that give them confidence and inclusivity while at school with other children. We support the Uniform Initiative program and environment action in the communities. So my CEO, who is seated at the back, just raise your hand. That's it, yeah, that's my boss. So we've partnered with him, he's actually my friend. So, and for me, I'm in the financial banking industry in Frankfurt, and I'm here to assist. And also, thank you so much, Mary, for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Let's appreciate them. One thing he has not mentioned is that they have promised, and they've already started, all their CSR for the company is coming to Tuboreshe Pamoja. Let's appreciate him. And that already means that we have a partner that is willing to work with us a long distance. So also for some of you who are partners and you're running companies, you know very well it is a requirement for you to support community initiatives via CSR. So if by any chance Lagape may think of doing a CSR program, please plan to partner with Tuboreshe. If NGAF is planning to run activities, of which I know we are already partnering with the Office of the Woman Rep Machakos, kindly partner with Tuboreshe, and we will be more than excited to move the journey together with you. As I say this, Alaika group, kindly prepare yourself for your skit. You have like 5 minutes, so in 5 minutes we'll be calling you to do your stick. So, is it stick ama skit? Skit. Tafadhali tuharakishe kidogo na Alaika group. DJ, the problem with you is that you support Man United. What's wrong with you? Unajua watu wenye wana support timu ndogo ndogo, they make a lot of noise. Anyway, thank you so much, DJ Georges. So, Alaika group, kindly prepare yourself. In 5 minutes, we should be giving you a chance. Jiwakilishe. Tuwapigie makofi wanapokuja. Also Ndama Empire, prepare yourself, ukuje utupigie show ya 5 minutes, and then after that we'll be having our first speaker ambaye I know we will be excited to enjoy. That's Alaika. Yeah.
All protocols observed. Good afternoon. My name is Eunice. I'm standing in for our CEO, Josephine Mwendwa. I work with a community-based organization called Jiwakilishe. It is in Kaloleni Market. Our thematic areas, we work with the youth, climate action, SRH, that is sexual reproduction health, youth empowerment, and in that conjunction we have a program that is going on in Mutituni division called Youth Resiliency and Belonging. And we are so grateful today for Tuboreshe Pamoja inviting us. We thank you. And thank you for everyone who has come today in this event. We are so grateful. Thank you. Keep safe as you go back home. Nafikiri mvua imepungua. Asanteni.
Tuwapigie makofi. Thank you. Lagape Consultancy. Mheshimiwa karibu. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali. If you knew the job this amazing mama yetu is doing, but I know she's going to speak about that. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dari. Najua sijai kuita hivyo. Hi everyone. You there? You there? Mbona mmechoka hivyo? Siku imekuwa mrefu sana. But it's a privilege to be alive today and to be here. My name is Selina Mwende. I run an agency called Lagape Consulting Services. We offer jobs, mostly domestic workers. Najua watu wengi wanadharau hizo kazi sana, but if only we knew how important those jobs are. Na mnajua minimum wage siku hizi ni ngapi? Mnajua ni ngapi? Mnajua ni ngapi? 15,602. Sio ni pesa mzuri? Na unapewa accommodation, unapewa chakula, na kuna transport. So I'm praying for that day we will be seeing kazi ya nyumba kama professional job. I'm also a mental health advocate, and pia nilivai 2022 for woman rep seat. Najua wengi hapa mlini support, mkanipea kura na mkasema bado sijakula nikanona nikatoshe hiyo kiti. So natia bidii nikule ndio nitoshe 2027. I am so grateful. I've just realized 3 of my family members are supporting this event. Umeona huyo kijana na Wasorted Kitchen? That is my son. Wood? That is my uncle. Najua hata ujui. So Edward is family, and anything Edward will tell me to support, I will also support. And to the youth, please believe in yourself. Mtu akikwambia uwezi, show them that you can. I thank you so much for showing up for yourselves. I am honored to have you all here. God bless you na msalimiane kwenu nyumbani. Thank you.
Tumpigie makofi tafadhali. LOM Technology. LOM Technology. Tuwapigie makofi wanapokuja. Ndama, kindly be ready in the next 2 minutes. And Ross Mutiso as well, be ready. In the next maybe 5 or so, immediately after Ndama, we'll be having you ministering. So please prepare yourselves.
Thank you so much. Habari zenyu. Mko salama? This is Absalom Okoth, the director of LOM Technology. And in LOM Technology, we do 3 things. We innovate, we empower, and we maintain. I just want to confirm, when Minister was talking about the digital which being done by the county, we are the people who are responsible here. My office is just here. When you walk around, you'll see computer lab. That's where you'll find me. And here we do great. In empowering, we train digital skills. We take those who are done with the high school, we introduce them to the digital space through the basic and also the advanced technology. In maintenance, we do the maintaining of electronics, but this mostly based in Nairobi. That's where we have the online platforms where someone can order for maintenance within the house through our technicians. And the last part, all these technicians are trained by the LOM Technology with the partnership with other organizations. Like right now, we are creating a partnership with the Tuboreshe so that through LEM technology we can train the very first girls who can do things like mobile phone repair. And I believe by the end of this year we'll have at least 50 people, girls, doing mobile phone repair within our street. When we walk within our street, Machakos, I have quite of young guys whom have worked with, and they're doing well under these things of maintaining the electronics we have through repairs and installations. So this is what we do, and I believe with the time more will come. Thank you so much.
Tumpigie makofi. These are the guys who are running free computer training. They are the guys who are doing free computer training here at the youth center. So the parents who are here, msichana wako amemaliza form 4 ako nyumbani doing nothing, please bring them to the youth center. We have free computer training services here offered by LOM Technology. Thank you so much. I'm told Rehema Musimbi unahitajika nje. Rehema Musimbi. So if Rehema you're in here, tafadhali there's someone who wants to see you outside. Please muone. Meshak, I hope you're ready. Good. That is going to be our first speaker, followed by Bina Maseno. I mean. Before then, I said we need to at least refresh ourselves. So we are going to have Ndama for 2 minutes. Then we'll have Alaika. Then we'll have Rose Mutiso. Then immediately after that, we'll be having the first speaker, who's Meshak. And then we'll have Bina Maseno. Karibu sana, MC Ndama.
Thank you. Bwana asifiwe. Bwana asifiwe tena. Naomba, mnacheka nini? Kama unapenda Mwenyezi Mungu, naomba tusimame pamoja. Judges, nianzie pale kwa Masi Masika tafadhali. Hatina siwezi jizuia kusema wako we. Ambia mwenzako changamka kidogo, si ndio? Changamka kidogo. I go the name of Sindama Empire, and of course I say thank you to Edward and Mary for the good job because they are doing to boresha pamoja, better together. Joshua and everyone, mnafanya kazi poa. Ma DJ, tunaanzia wapi? Tuambie hapa. Haya, weka mkono wako juu kama unampenda Mwenyezi Mungu. Weka juu. Juu sana alafu. Pamoja. Na kama unajua wimbo tunaimba sote ati nini? Afanye nini? Wote nipate uzima jamani. Sema hivyo nini? Wote ishara kwamba weka maua basi nione mikono miwili kwa maringo maua twende wote. Thank you. Eti DJ twende. Haya, weka mwana na hii maua. Angalia nebo wako kama amesimama. Maua. Umenifanya ning'are. Ng'ara nione. Umenifanya ning'are. Hai. Umenifanya ning'are. Yesu. One more time say manini. Umenifanya ning'are. Umenifanya ning'are. Judges. Umenifanya ning'are. Kama unapenda Mungu kwa maringo mikono. Wewe. Thank you. Eti nuru ya watu ukiingia kwangu mimi nang'aa. Atwende sisi watu huko. Ndani ya hii tunaenda kuna uzima twende ukiingia kwangu. Haya, geuka tena twende huko.
uso wake
Wacha.
ndiye sura yake Mungu.
Bwana Mungu.
Umeingia kwangu.
Angalia mbele.
Nuru ya Injili.
Thank you.
Utukufu wake Kristo umeingia kwangu.
Aweka moyo namna hii. Wacha nene kama mnatambua hii ngoma. Tunashusha nini?
Alipokwisha kunena alimwambia tweka mpaka kilindi.
Sijaweka hapo, nimeweka tu.
Shushe nyavu zenu. Yesu alipokwisha kunena.
Aya tuangalie. Ladies. Nani siku yenye, si ndio?
Mpaka kilindi.
Tunapaka makeup, sawa? Mkono mwingine mbele namna hii.
Bwana mkuu, tumefanya kazi ya kutosha usiku kucha. Bwana, tumefanya kazi hata tusipate kitu. Bwana mkubwa, tumefanya kazi ya kutosha usiku kucha.
Wanaume.
Bwana mkubwa, tumefanya kazi hata tusipate.
Kama unachunguma.
Lakini kwa neno lako
Tashusha nyavu. Everybody say. Thank you. Thank you.
Ngoja Jobis. Nipeleke Ukambani kidogo.
Lo.
Hapa kuna Wakamba.
Wakamba. Wakikuyu.
Sasa Jobis, dakika moja yangu imebaki nitoke. I go the name Msindama Empire, nimekuja kusupport Edward na Mary, ndio watu wangu wa nguvu na kila mtu ambaye anapenda Mwenyezi Mungu, si ndio? Haya, Jobis, tunaanzia wapi?
Wote. Weka gitaa nione. Nionyeshe gitaa lako nione. Kama unajua hii ngoma wacha kusemaje? Eti hivi ndani yai. Thank you.
Asimwanone muliki. Masengena maikulanya.
Wewe mikono.
Ndio hiyo amaida makwa. Hiki kitole masimwanone muliki.
Hello.
Masengena maikulanya.
Thank you Mr. Edward. Let's just support. Lakini I promise the next event, mimi kama ambassador Image Connection, we will support you again and again. Sawa? God bless you.
Tumpigie makofi tafadhali. I like a group. I like a group. I like a group. I like a group. Ross Mutiso and the Kalokis have been informed you'll sing when our guest of honor is here, who is the Vice Chancellor Machakos University. So you are requested to hold on kidogo mpaka we have the honor of the Vice Chancellor. Also the Office of the Woman Rep, you will also speak when the Vice Chancellor is here. So you have not been forgotten, you are in the program, but we want you to speak at the right time. Asante. Alaika, who's introducing the team?
Mbele ni mimi, kikundi cha The Alaika, tayari kuwaletea mchezo wenye mada The Alaika Story. Mark Niken.
Mungu wangu, mbona nilizaliwa kwa hii familia yenye wazazi hawana pesa? Nilimaliza kidato cha 4 nikijua watanipeleka college, but they have no money. Nifanye nini? Nifanye nini maisha yangu yabadilike? My God. Ama nianze kulima vibarua? Rafiki yangu mwendee, si aliolewa? What if na mimi nitafute mtu anioe, nitakuwa activist? Lakini hapana.